Monaghan, and Monaghan cutting a swathe at the knee. This Eden has lost it. Maguire swoops. Maguire scores the try for the Rhinos.
It's all changed at Ellen Road as Paul Heckingbottom becomes the latest man in the Leeds United hot seat. Well, it's a change of sports too, as a Super League match is played here for the first time. Changing of the guard too at the Rhinos as they prepare to face Leeds legend Danny Maguire for the first time since his high-profile move to Hull Kingston Rovers. Well, I think Danny will be hoping that the experience that saw him win 8 Old Trafford Grand Finals will help the Robins in their return to the top flight. And it was a difficult first match back for the Robins, losing in round 1 28 points to 6. Now in round 2 of the Betfred Super League, they take on the champions here at Ellen Road. It is the first of 4 Super League matches we've got coming up for you this weekend. Tomorrow we're over at Wakefield, impressive winners over the Robins. They're taking on Salford, 7:30 p.m. Sky Sports Arena. And then on Saturday we have a double header. Join us at 8:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports Main Event, where we will be bringing you action live from Wollongong in Australia as Wigan and Hull FC play a Super League match outside of Europe for the first time. And then we head to France on Saturday. Catalan taking on St Helens, 5 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. Yes, lots of rugby league coming up for you on Sky Sports, and it starts here tonight at Ellen Road. It has hosted Yorkshire Cup finals, Challenge Cup semi-finals, World Club Challenge matches, and of course 4 Nations finals. But now for the first time ever we have a Super League match played here as the Leeds Rhinos Headingley ground goes under some restoration work. There will of course be a second match here later on this year when the Castleford Tigers are the visitors. But tonight it's Hull Kingston Rovers. And Barry, looking forward, in 8 days' time, the Rhinos have got that World Club Challenge match. They are the current champions. They were very good against the Warrington Wolves in round 1, but should be the focus be, and will the focus be, tonight on Hull Kingston Rovers?
Absolutely, it's on the Hull KR. Look, I'm not bothered, and I don't think we should get preoccupied with Leeds Rhinos and the Melbourne game in 8 days. Nor will that changing room, by the way. But for Hull KR, if Hull KR don't get a good result, a good performance, it'll leave Hull KR, Robins fans, Robin players just a little bit worried.
They might be a little bit nervy if they don't get a performance. They will be hoping for a performance. We can hear from the players and the coaches of both sides a little later on. First, let's hear from a man that will be the focus of much talk today. He spoke to Angelo Powers. 424 Leeds appearances. He returned 267 tries, a full 238 of those in Super League. But now you will see him for the second time in Rovers colours. Danny Maguire spoke to Angelo Powers.
Danny, a welcome return to Ellen Road. The last time you were here, you were walking around the pitch doing a lap of honour with the Super League trophy, and it's a place that means a lot to you in lots of other ways.
Yeah, it does. It's a special place, and obviously being a Leeds lad and a big Leeds United fan as well, it's always special to play here. And yeah, it's just the old cliche. It's just another game tonight. Just got to focus on my job and not get too carried away. It's obviously an emotional night, but I'm pretty determined to go out there and enjoy it.
You mentioned the word emotional. Has it been easy to put the emotions to one side and just focus on the job ahead?
Yeah, it's been all right. Yeah, it's been good. There's obviously been a bit more interest in it this week, and obviously a few press conferences and that type of stuff. But like I said before, it's I've just got to focus on my job for my team now, and and that's it. That's all I've sort of tried to do this week, and just get my preparation right. And it's going to be interesting playing against some of my best mates, but. It's a job, and you've just got to do your best. I'm representing Rovers now, and I want to do the shirt justice. Have
you had any conversations with your ex-teammates this week?
Yeah, I've seen a few other boys, and I keep in contact with quite a lot of them, and you got a bond that they'll never break. Spending a lot of time with them lads and the club as well. So it's going to be strange, but it is what it is, and I'm excited and itching to get out there.
Onto the game itself, obviously you got that loss last week against Wakefield. What is it you're going to be concentrating on tonight to put that right?
We just need to be better with the ball, I think. Just respect the ball, just respect possession. If we don't respect it tonight, Leeds will punish us. They've got some quality players. Just be a bit better defensively. I think a couple of the tries that we let in the other day were a little bit soft. So just need an all-round improvement. But we're pretty confident we can do that.
Well, why wouldn't you be confident, Barry? A glittering career, one that Leeds Rhinos fans will never forget. But it must be strange for them to see him in opposition colours tonight. Yeah,
but that's the cycle of sport. Danny Maguire, with a little bit left in his legs, feels that he's not done yet. He's took the challenge. He's gone over to Hull KR. Look, he's had some glorious days in a Leeds Rhinos shirt, but it doesn't matter. I played against Terry O'Connor, my best pal, for the majority of my career, and I couldn't wait to get hold of him and give him a clout, because he was, one, he annoyed me, and two, he was on the opposition. So Danny Maguire needs to use that energy and draw those players in who might be a little bit emotional about tonight, and just feed those players in the red and white shirt through the spaces.
Tim Sheen's made the point after the Wakefield game and ahead of this match that he has cautioned and urged Danny not to overplay his hand, not to try too hard. How would trying too hard manifest itself in a half-back's performance?
It's very easy, and as a forward, if you play against your old side, you run a bit harder, you hit a bit harder and put a bit of oomph into what you're doing. But as a half-back, you first of all have to think about everybody else and what they need for you. I think it goes broader than Danny Maguire. The spine of this side needs to perform at a very, very high level to compete with Leeds, who last week, their spine I thought was outstanding.
Well, Tim Sheens has made a change. He's brought Chris Atkin in alongside Danny Maguire. The big news for the Leeds Rhinos, well, they've got mixed news really. Stevie Ward returns from injury, but there will be no Joel Moon. Liam Sutcliffe will move into the halves alongside Richie Myler. Myler so good against Warrington in round one.
I thought his kicking game was something that Leeds have been missing for a while or two, and his combination with Joel Moon, we're only seeing one of those on one game so far, one league outing, to see how it develops, but it's a chance for Liam Sutcliffe to play in the halves. He's a running back, he's a destructive runner, big man for a number 6, so Richie Myler, he'll just look to pick up where he left off last week.
Rain falling heavily now at Ellen Road. Barry, do you think that may work in the favour of Hull Kingston Rovers? And I mean that it may deaden the Leeds Rhinos attack just a little, and they will face a lot in attack from Leeds.
So when you're playing in the rain, when you're playing in the wet, the things that are important to you are early ball, away from contact, safe hands, catch that ball early, and when you've got the ball, respect it and get to those kicks. So possession, completions become very important in the rain. Danny Maguire, we all know what he did last October for Leeds in the rain. Can he do that for Hull KR? He mentioned attack, but I think they'll focus a lot on defence. They missed 40 tackles last week, and the right edge of Hull KR defensively was found wanting just a few times.
It's only round 2, long way to go. Let's get a prediction from you on this game.
Hey, well, it's there for Hull KR to win. If Hull KR have any opportunity to go to the home of Leeds Rhinos and get a win, it's tonight. The Rhinos are on the way to Australia tomorrow, so if they get stuck in, then they've a chance, but I think probably the Rhinos will have too much.
OK, Barry McDermott thinks the champions will prevail here tonight before they get on the plane tomorrow morning. The kickoff is just around the corner. Barry's gone now to join the commentary team. Phil Clark, Terry O'Connor, and led as ever by Eddie Hemmings. Super League has arrived in Ellen Road. The champions, the Leeds Rhinos, up against Hull Kingston Rovers. Kickoff just minutes away.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
I reckon this one.
What about this one?
This one's got a cherry on it.
That'll be £700 per month for 25 years.
Do you take cards?
Obviously, a mortgage isn't a cake, so don't treat it like one. Over 1 million people have come to L&C for expert mortgage advice. Making the whole process, you get the idea.
For fee-free mortgage advice, get in touch and let Ellen see how we can help you too.
It's a noisy, chaotic, confusing world. If only everyone could see it more clearly. Separate fake from fact. If only we all understood what's really going on. The world needs another Economist reader. And now you can try The Economist absolutely free of charge. Text FREE1 to 78070.
If I win on Lotto this Saturday, I would buy a round-the-world trip for my mum. I haven't really had a dad, so mum's been mum and dad. Father's Day, mum gets a card. Mother's Day, mum gets a card. Like, she would love it. She would literally, she'd be insane. She'd be like, what? Oh, my days. Like, she wouldn't say, oh, my days. That's what I would say, but the mum version of that, because I love my mum. Don't put that in there.
Who wins if you win this Saturday?
Do you remember that wonderful meal we had as we left Lanzarote?
Superb, it just has so much.
I had that delicious lobster.
And you also had that delicious steak. Remember those lovely morning walks as the sun rose over the Canaries?
And those lovely afternoon cocktails as the sun rose over the yardarm. What was after that?
Wales.
Wales?
No, Wales!
P&O Cruises. This is the life.
Do you want to be a risk taker? A good father? A graphic designer? Teenager? Or a wrestler? Traveler? Adventurer? Animal lover? Dreamer? Richard Wagner? Surfer? Or even a globetrotter? You can. More space, more versatility. New Citroën C3 Aircross SUV. Endless possibilities.
Citroën.
The Pamunki have given us a perfect reason to bring a war down upon them. We've got to grind the team down.
Oh, Danny boy, the Rhinos are calling. Danny Maguire gets an early chance to show off his skills against Leeds after 17 years at Headingley and a man-of-the-match performance in the grand final win last year. Leeds home ground's being revamped. We're at Elland Road to kick off week 2 of the Betfred Super League. Now then, Leeds are off to Australia in the morning to kick up a storm in the World Club Challenge. They kicked off the defence of their title with a win at Warrington last Thursday. Just one change tonight. Joel Moon is injured, but he will be on the flight to Australia. Jimmy Kinehorst comes in. Liam Sutcliffe moves to partner Richie Myler. Up front, Jamie Jones-Buchanan has played in 4 World Club Challenges for Leeds here at Elland Road, and what's more, he scored in 2 of them. There is a change on the interchange bench as well. Stevie Ward replacing new signing Nathaniel Petteru, who was injured last week in the win at Warrington. Well, Hulkingston Rovers are back in Super League after a 12-month absence. They lost their home debut last week against Wakefield. This is a big night for Leeds United fan Danny Maguire after 8 grand final wins for Leeds. Chris Atkin replaces Matty Marsh alongside him. The forward pack is unchanged from last week. Mulhern and Clarkson are 2 former Leeds pack men. And on the bench, Jordan Wall makes his debut for Rovers, having signed from Salford during the course of the winter. So Elland Road awaits, and the Leeds Rhinos here for the 5th time at Elland Road in the Super League era. 4 World Club Challenges. They won against the Bulldogs in 2005 and against Melbourne in 2008, but they lost here to Manly in 2009 and the Storm in 2010. As far as Hulkingston Rovers are concerned, 32 years ago they were here for 2 epic Challenge Cup semi-finals against Leeds. 1986, it was 24 all and then 17-0 to the Rovers. They went on to Wembley only to succumb in the final to Castleford. Well, the Leeds crowd have had to make their way across here to Elland Road while Headingley is being rebuilt. I've seen some photos of the work going on at Headingley, and it'll be a magnificent stadium when it is finally finished. They will be back here, of course, for the game against Castleford later on during the course of the season in a repeat of the Grand Final, and Hull KR are here as well. They were no match for Wakefield last week. Matty Marsh was sin-binned in the 12th minute. They trailed 18-0 at half-time. They and their coach Tim Sheens will be hoping for better. Brian McDermott, well, he is hoping to get off to Australia in the morning with a 2-from-2 record in the Super League in 2018 ahead of that World Club Challenge that I'm sure Callum Watkins and the rest of the Leeds Rhinos are absolutely relishing and looking forward to. In many ways, of course, it's an away game for both of these sides, Terry. I wonder how it will affect the Leeds Rhinos.
Eddie, I still think they'll be good. It's their city. They were composed last week with the ball. They like playing in those big city games, and you look at them, the way they performed last week against Warrington, who were going to come out all guns blazing. I thought they were absolutely exceptional.
Well, this is the first game that Leeds have played back in their home city since the passing of a rugby league legend, John Atkinson, just before Christmas. And the Rhinos are using the occasion to pay a special tribute to him tonight. In fact, both of these clubs have lost iconic figures recently. Rovers legend Roger Millwood died last year, and he is pictured here alongside John Atkinson following a Millwood try for Great Britain that won the Ashes against Australia in 1970. And Hull Kingston Rovers, of course, have retired their number 6 jersey in memory of the great Roger Millwood. Players making their way out. There will be a minute's applause prior to the game getting underway tonight in memory of John Atkinson. He made more than 500 appearances for Leeds. He had a rare style and searing pace which brought in 340 tries. And you know, he stands second on the club's all-time try-scoring chart. And tonight's match programme is dedicated to him. And as I say, there will be a minute's applause before the kick-off. And another nice touch as well by the Leeds club. John's grandson, 12-year-old Oscar McMinnis, is there, and he is about to deliver the match ball to the referee, accompanied by John's lifelong friend and teammate Alan Smith on the right, and Leeds United legend Eddie Gray is out there too. He is a friend of Ron Atkinson since their playing days in this great city. So a lovely moment for the family of John Atkinson, I'm sure, in memory of the great man. That's the sort of style of play that he used to display week in, week out for the Leeds club. And Oscar McMinnis delivering the match ball to match referee Robert Hicks. Football and rugby league coming together to remember one of the great rugby league players. And the minute of applause starts right now. John Atkinson, 1946 to 2017. Fondly remembered. Well, it's 8 years since Leeds last played here, the 2010 World Club Challenge against Melbourne. Next weekend, of course, they will be in Australia for what their chief executive, Gary Hetherington, describes as their greatest ever challenge. They'll be flying the Super League flag and hopefully bringing that World Club trophy back home with them on the plane the week after. 4 survivors from 2010. Danny Maguire, of course, was one of them. He's now playing for Hull Kingston Rovers. Watkins Delaney, Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Ryan Hall. The only try that night came from Danny Maguire. Fascinating match in prospect. It's going to be Hull Kingston Rovers who are going to get this game underway. And Ellen Road awaits, and a really good crowd here to see the return of Danny Maguire. Just waiting for everything to be cleared away from the playing surface. Robert Hicks will blow the whistle in a moment, get us underway. make sure everything is safe and sound.
Okay, mate.
And it's going to be Ryan Shaw, the former England Academy international, kicked a goal last week, who gets us underway. Here we go, then a fascinating 80 minutes lying ahead. Interesting kick-off, skimming all along the ground as well. And Jack Walker just trapped it. And Leeds now will have first use of the football. There's the first knock on. It's a rainy night. It's been tipping down with rain for the last hour. And Adam Cuthbertson guilty of the first mistake of the night, not having hold of the ball correctly. There you see it.
Just a simple drop, Eddie, as he's getting up to play the ball. You can see there's no hands in, there's no one around him. It's just a clean drop. Good field position here for Wakefield.
Or Hull Kingston Rovers.
But okay, sorry.
You're 24 hours ahead of yourself.
Yes, I am. I'm thinking that we're there already, Tom already.
Danny Maguire feeds the scrum, and he is the man who then passes the ball out wide, and Adam Quinlan could not get to the ball. It actually was Chris Atkin who fed the scrum. Maguire was the man who picked the ball up.
It could be that sort of night, couldn't it, with those sorts of mistakes? When they have decent field position and then they make the mistake through Quinlan, maybe having a little look up at Sutcliffe in front of him. And they were disappointed from last week's effort when they played against Wakefield. They targeted that game, hoping in front of the home crowd that they'll pick up 2 valuable league points. Well, this is another big game for them, not just because of Danny Maguire, but there's 4 other ex-Leeds players in this side.
Kick over the top, looking for a 40-20 early on, but that kick is cut out by Adam Quinlan. And here comes Justin Carney.
See, they got up really quick on the right-hand side, Leeds Rhinos. You know that he's one of the most powerful wingers in the game, Justin Carney. Certainly does chew those metres up.
That's good.
That was Tommy Lee, who is continuing to keep the club captain, Sean Lunt, on the bench from the start of the match.
It's a tactic, Eddie, that Hull KR and the coach Tim Sheens used a lot last season, isn't it? To try and get the maximum impact from Sean Lunt when he comes onto the field. 15-20 minutes is when he's usually introduced. As the kick from Jack Walker, it tips back towards his own try line. That's not a knock-on. And he clears it. But great defence here again from Hull KR. We criticised, Barry made reference. Look at that!
Tremendous stuff. Tremendous stuff from the 3 men. Pulled and pushed and all the way back went Jack Walker over his own try line. It's a goal line dropout coming up. Looks like the Rovers players are up for this.
Well, Barry talked about the 40 missed tackles that Hull KR came up with last week. They're determined here tonight. The defence won't be the reason for defeat.
Stuart, though, they're having a look at this, are they?
Just to see who ended up with the ball at the end, I think. Because there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's lending weight at that point. At the point where he came into so-called lend weight, because if you lend weight to stop somebody going back, then the tackle will be complete. But at that point, he's going straight over the line. So it's a goal line dropout.
There's Robert Hicks confirming with video referee James Child tonight that a goal line dropout is the correct decision. So it's been a bit of a shaky start by the champions here at Ellen Road tonight. Quinlan with the ball, picks it up and gets it away to one of their old boys, Rob Mulhern. Lee gets the ball away again. Here's Maurice Blair.
2, move Carl, get square. Hold, go.
4th season in East Hull for Blair. There's now a good drive in from Chris Clarkson. He was one of those players who are very much up for the challenge tonight. And James Greenwood takes it forward. Made his debut in a 6-36 defeated Headingley June 2016. There's Atkin, gets it away to Maguire. Maguire finds Blair and another knock on. That was just sloppy play actually by Heffernan. The ball went behind him and he just snaked the hand out.
Well, that was a shame. That it was a patient setup. It looked until the point it got knocked on that the hands were crisp and clean, and they made lots of mistakes last weekend, Hull KR, and it's a little bit like everybody. They're going to make mistakes. It's going to take time to form those bonds and those links that are so valuable during the year, but that's another clean drop from Hull KR.
Well, Danny Maguire referenced that when he was before the game, when he was talking to Angela Powers. We need to make sure that we're better with the ball. Well, 14 incomplete sets last week they made, too many errors. They need to be better than that if they're going to come away with the 2 points tonight.
And indeed, if they're going to have anything other than a season of struggle back in Super League in 2018. Here is Callum Watkins now for the Rhinos. 2 goals last week on his 250th career appearance. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan, he takes it forward, midway inside their own half of the field, the Rhinos. And Delaney will cart it forward into the chest of Danny Maguire.
I thought Delaney was good last week. Delaney and Ablett worked overtime in defence, and when it come time to cart the ball up, they did that well.
Parcell is the dummy half, gets the ball away to Sutcliffe. Took off the outside of the boot. To watch it very carefully, did Quinlan. He tries to set the Rovers moving again and gets the penalty.
Great work from the fullback. I talked before the game about the spine needed to perform well. Quinlan has to catch that ball whilst in his eye line he's got players rushing towards him.
Well, England cricketer and big rugby league fan Johnny Burstow in the crowd tonight, watching on here at Elland Road. I think I caught sight of him quite close to Brian McDermott.
I think he's sat next to him, yeah.
There he is,
yeah,
right next door to the Leeds coach. Must be a Rhinos fan then, he wouldn't get up on his feet.
Oh, he's a big Rhinos fan. I'm wondering who's giving who advice there.
Be assistant coach for the night. Maybe it's is it a prize you could win the local paper?
Well, home will take it forward again then for Hull KR. Tommy Lee organising at the play the ball. Comes into centre field, drops the pass off to Lee Jewett. Ex-Wigan, Salford and Castleford. Jewett and Maguire. Ex-Leeds, of course. Lovely little dab towards the Leeds in-goal area. Picked up by Walker. They're trying to force him over the line again in the shape of Heffernan.
Nice and direct from Hull KR, trapping Leeds into the corner. Look at the chase here now, trying to intimidate the Rhinos.
And Hull KR very keen to get out of the blocks, are caught offside.
Well, that's what a lot of teams do, Eddie. When they play, they have you trapped into the corner, and all of a sudden they want to get off the line. The first 3 steps, you let players talk about that, and coaches reference that. And Tim Sheens knows that he's got to make sure that they are disciplined, keep the side as close to their line as you can.
Elland Road's got a long association with rugby league. 80 years ago, this place hosted the first ever All Leeds Championship final. Leeds against Hunslet. Hunslet won 8-4. Over 54,000 people were here that night to witness that. Warrington are just ahead against the Giants. 4-0. Not far away from here. This is Parcell. Slips the pass back on his inside to Myler, who had a great debut last week against his former club. This is Brad Singleton now. And Parcell again scampers into dummy half. Will he give it to his scrum half? Yes, he does. Myler then gets it away to Kinehorst. Playing tonight because Joel Moon is injured in training. And Sutcliffe is the man who plays alongside Richie Myler. That was a nice kick that ricocheted off the post into the arms of Quinlan, fortunately for Rovers.
Positioned himself well, didn't he? Quinlan. Look at this. The ricochets there. He knew exactly what was going to happen. Got himself in front of 2 Leeds Rhinos players.
Carney's a handful. But they get him down.
That's good. Surrender!
That's 3 tackles gone. As Minns tried to work the ball forward. Another ex-Leeds man in this Rovers lineup tonight. There's no lack of motivation then. And of course there's Jamie Peacock in the management at Hull Kingston Rovers, another former Leeds legend. Here goes Walker now on the attack, the Leeds fullback.
He's so brave, isn't he? He was magnificent last week. To think, Eddie, this is just his 14th first-team game is incredible, the way that he handles himself as a player, not just with the ball, but defensively as well.
Briscoe, the man with the ball here, and Rovers will look to keep him quiet. Remember, he got 5 tries against them at Wembley in 2015, won the Lance Todd Trophy. Here is Callum Watkins, gets it away to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Buchanan looked down the right-hand side. Leeds had all moved over to the left. There was no one out there for the pass out wide. Takes the tackle, plays the ball to Parcell. There's Myler, drops it off to Delaney. Lee is in there quickly with Jewett, with Blair. They've reached tackle number 5. This is the last one then. Myler, high. Under pressure from Lee, got the ball away. Quinlan, he's taken that.
On the full, it's a 20-metre restart.
I thought for a horrible moment that he'd taken the ball over the line with him then.
Well, he's been targeted. He's not the biggest, Quinlan. but he's certainly coming up with some decent plays here.
He's handled everything they've thrown at him. That's a difficult decision to make. You're running backwards, you know the ball is greasy, and he just pouches it and takes all the pressure away. Good start from the fullback.
2, Jamie, move, get square break. Hold, go.
Hearn again will play the ball to Lee. And he gets it away to Ryan Shaw.
Go, good.
Lee again, and Maguire trying to weave some magic. Leeds Rhinos will be anxious that he doesn't do that tonight.
Go.
Lee down the right-hand side with Quinlan again. Looking busy, the Rovers full-back. Gets a good ball away as well to Clarkson. Clarkson scored the only try for Rovers last week against Wakefield. Go down the short side once again. Quinlan, that ricochets off the legs of Ablett. This could be 6 to go. No, the referee says this is still the last. Minns with the dab forward. Bravery round the feet and ankles and boots by Walker once again.
Eddie, I was critical of Hull KR last week. I thought they looked like a championship team playing in the Super League. But you have to say that's been a really positive opening 10 minutes for them here. They've been competitive. They've been opportunistic with some of the players, and they've shown a higher degree of skill than they did last week. If they can maintain the standard here, they're going to push the lead side, and they've forced the ball again here. They're hitting with shoulders, they're not tackling with hands, and it's giving them an advantage at the moment.
Magnificent hit, that I think, by Maurice Blair to secure this possession for Rovers. This is Clarkson, and a worry for Leeds. Carl Ablett is limping heavily over on that far side. There's a bit of ump in there as well from Mulhern. This is Lee Jewett. Impressive start by Rovers this. Here is Maguire. Gets the ball away once more to Atkin. Good work by Greenwood, inching towards those posts. Only 2 tackles gone here. Look how close they are. Lee to Maguire, and Atkin stabs the ball to the in-goal area very early in the piece, and Walker coming across just to shuttle the ball down.
Well, they knew that he had Leeds, and on the second play, choosing to kick the ball, he goes at the line, he pulls up the Leeds defenders, and look, all of a sudden Jack Walker's confronted with 3 Hull KR players that are chasing this kick. He's got a very strong kicking game. Whether it be short or long, Chris Atkin, he's a very intelligent player.
Aren't they doing a good job of controlling the game, building some pressure on the Rhinos? We're 11 minutes in. You give those 11 minutes all to Hull KR.
Tim Sheen said he's gone back to the drawing board this week. He himself is no stranger to Elland Road, the Australian coach in 2009-2011 in 4 nation final victories over England. 46-16 in 2009, 30 points to 8 2011. This is a whole new ball game for him, though. Here, this is Maurice Blair with a charge forward. He's lost the ball. What a hit by Walker that was.
What a tackle, Jack Walker again. Both sides of the ball, this young kid's got so much talent and commitment. Look at that. Admittedly, when the ball carrying arm hits the ground, it dislodges the ball, but fantastic work from young Walker.
Well, last week he pulled off 4 try-saving tackles. He's probably the reason why Leeds go into this game with a win from the first round. Single-handedly stopped 4 scores, and he's stopped a certain 4 points there with another brilliant tackle. He's brave, he's confident, puts himself in front of Blair and makes sure he pulls off a brilliant defensive effort. Oh, a mistake again by Ryan Hall. And Leeds look like they've already got the minds on the plane. They sat down in business class and waited for the take-off drinks, Eddie.
Well, it's uncharacteristic of them, that is for sure. Ryan Hall began in style last week with a couple of tries against Warrington, but under pressure from Clarkson straight away.
And it's worth it making those mistakes, isn't it? When Hull KR are making mistakes, it's close to Leeds' line, and Brian McDermott knows he can't keep on turning the ball over. Cheap possession to the opposition, who had plenty of effort last week against Wakefield, but poor execution.
This is Heffernan, Andrew Heffernan. Great first year with Rovers last year. Second top try scorer with 18 tries. Clarkson taking on Singleton, Parcell, Cuthbertson, Ablett there as well, just backed off the challenge there, takes his place next to the post. Tommy Lee looking left, coming left, into centre field, Maguire. A drop of the shoulder from Maguire, bound to be looking for a big game personally tonight, Danny Maguire. Lee fires the ball. This is Atkin again. Ablett gobbles him up.
Wait, boys, get square.
And Lee once more. Maguire grabs the ball forward, picked up by Parcell, and it's hacked forward by Parcell, lost then by Parcell. And it's a 0 tackle, so something here for Justin Carney to make a bit of hay from, perhaps.
0. Well, again, good work from Parcell to get to the ball. Unfortunately, he drops it. And again, they're defending the try line.
Surrender. Go on.
Matt Parcell, so reliable last year. This is Tommy Lee. Slips the pass to Blair. Cuthbertson gets to him, helped out by Ablett.
You can just see Danny Maguire saying to his teammates, let's calm down here. We're in the right area of the field. Nice early passes, not at the line where you'll be under pressure.
But it's a big test of the Leeds defence here in the opening 14 minutes, that's for sure. Oh, now then, was Thomas Minns taken out there?
Time off. Mate, I've got a drop.
Did Tom Briscoe
Can you
touch
just double
that
check
ball?
that it's hit Briscoe before it bounces, please?
Well, he wants to check for the goal line dropout. Was there a man taken out, Stuart? The chase?
I think there was somebody moved across, but the officials won't be bothered about that now. They just want to check the restart. There's certainly a collision in back play. Now, the ball's got to bounce on the ground before it hits, and it doesn't. So this will be a goal line dropout. He's read it right. The ball has to hit the ground before a Leeds player can play it. And as he's put himself in that position, he's actually stopped it from bouncing over the touchline, so it should be a goal line dropout.
And a goal line dropout it is. Looks like he's on top of the game tonight, Robert Hicks, to the halfway line, and Maguire. Rob Mulhern again.
All about building pressure for Tim Sheen's men, kicking on the second play on the right-hand side, on the third play on the left. Again, the forwards just has to carry the ball forward, be aggressive, don't be dominated.
Maguire, quick hands to Blair.
3. Go.
Quick play the ball. Here they come with Andrew Heffernan.
Move now, Liam, goal line.
So close again, Rovers. It's been one-way traffic in the opening quarter of an hour. This lad's having a good game. Atkin.
Move. Goal line.
Lee will go himself. And the ball's on the ground, but I think he dropped it. He did.
Well, it just seemed to open up for him, and Tommy Lee, one of the most experienced players.
On me.
Wearing a Hull KR jersey, went for that try, but good defence from the Rhinos. Well, this is a must-complete set, this, Barry.
Leeds Rhinos, with 15 minutes on the clock, have already made over 100 tackles, and Hull KR somewhere around 60. A lot of defensive effort been put in by the Rhinos. No points to show by the Robins.
Can't play the ball.
Penalty here for Leeds. That's a relieving penalty. Huddersfield have taken the lead against Warrington in tonight's other match. See interference at the play of the ball, arms round the man. Tommy Lee, I think, being the transgressor. And that penalty relieves the pressure.
After 15 minutes of dominance with 2 real chances when Hull KR could have scored, we so often see this is the reason why champions in sport do lift the big prize at the end. They've been under pressure. This is the first real time to attack. Do they have the class here to break through Hull KR's line?
Anthony Mullally is on for Leeds. Here is Richie Myler. He gets it away to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe has dropped it. Leeds simply cannot complete a set at the moment.
Oh, well, that's the problem for them. Making far too many mistakes. You know what Richie Myler's doing though? He is fixing the defenders. He's going straight at the line, keeping the defenders honest in the middle, creating that space on the outside. But Sutcliffe, when he gets this chance, he just drops the ball cleanly, just 9 metres from the line.
Liam Sutcliffe, Moon injured in training yesterday. He started 9 of the last 10 in the centres.
Keep responding in the rucks. As I call you out, come on.
Chris Chester, the Wakefield coach, is in the crowd here tonight, and he will be in charge of Wakefield against Salford tomorrow, live on Sky Sports Arena at 7:30. It was a great result for him last week when he went back to Hull KR and Wakefield won.
2. Move.
Of course, Chester led Hull KR to Wembley and was shown the door soon after that. Back very quickly in the game, though, with Wakefield, and did a great job last year, guiding them to 5th place in the table.
He was excellent, wasn't he? No one expected that. And as you said, started off well last week. Be looking to pick up a further 2 points tomorrow.
Salford, though, will be having things to think about with that. This is Heffernan now, and he has support from Shaw down the touchline. And that Quinlan, charging forward, wanted the pass, but it wasn't necessary because Ryan Shaw's gone over for the first try of the match. And all the pressure that Rovers have put on from minute one in this game has finally paid off. Ryan Shaw missed most of 2016 when Rovers were last in Super League. He was their top try scorer last year, was Ryan Shaw, 27 touchdowns. And he's got Rovers underway here, and Leeds paying the penalty for not hanging on to the ball.
That's it, Eddie. That's been the story for the opening 18 minutes. This is nice little hands. First from Clarkson, then from Blurt, then from Heffernan to get Hall attracted. And as soon as he does that, he gives it his winger, and this is a good finish. They're building an awful lot of momentum. They're playing straight. They're going at the line and they're building in confidence every time they have the ball.
It's just that skip from Clarkson. He draws in the defender. Jimmy Kynors thinks he's got Clarkson in his sights. A deft little pass, soft hands. They exploit the space and score the first try.
Well, Ryan Shaw has scored the try and he's about to try and convert the try as well.
Yeah, mate. I think you've just put out your back now.
What a difference, what a turnaround in well, 6 days.
Okay.
Well, they really struggled on that right-hand side defensively when they took on Wakefield last week. Conceded all the tries on that side, but when they have the ball, they do look sharp. You've got Tommy Lee who's bringing the forwards onto the ball. You've got the likes of Chris Atkin and Danny Maguire and Quinlan asking questions. But most importantly, Eddie, they're getting to the kicks and they're completing the sets.
The noise in the background is from the Hull KR supporters welcoming their team back to their end of the field as Shaw lines up this conversion attempt, trying to drift it over the top of the bar. What a kick that is. What a kick from Ryan Shaw. 6 points for him, 6 points for Rovers. Champions trail by 6 points to 0 here at Ellen Road.
Well, teams in Rugby League gain confidence in several different ways, but one is the best, is scoring fantastic tries. They've done a long-range effort here against the Leeds Rhinos, which isn't easy to do. They've shown skill, they've had the speed to execute it. Well, the goal kicker, he loves it, doesn't he, when he puts one over from the sideline. Before the game, you made reference to the fact that the Leeds chief executive, Gary Hetherington, said that next week is the greatest challenge perhaps ever in the club's history. I would suggest that the next hour could be the greatest challenge that they need to focus on right now.
Yes, they look strangely out of sorts, don't they, in the opening quarter of this match. A World Club challenge, whether it's here or abroad, is a distraction. There's no question about that. Quinlan was nearly through then. Kynhorst did well to bring him down. Leeds have got a fractured defensive line here. And the ball now is with Rob Mulhern. And he gets them to within 20 metres of the Rhinos line. There's a couple of tackles left in the bag. Atkin once again gets the ball away. Carney, he's difficult to stop. The tank on the flank has moved inside. Lee waits a metre from the line. This is the last one. Atkin, lovely ball. Quinlan! Adam Quinlan for Hull Kingston Rovers. They lead by 10 points to 0, and they are full value for this 10-point advantage that might turn into 12 in a few seconds' time. Tim Sheens has worked a miracle over the past few days, and Brian McDermott knows his men have got to improve. First of all, to win this match, or get close in this match, and secondly, to get on the plane with confidence for the Melbourne Storm challenge in a week's time.
Well, the skills of the Rhinos have been off the pace. Just watch this for an offload. Beautiful stuff from Maurice Blake. Quinlan, who picks up that pass as a supporting player, stays in the frame. You have to be brave on that run. It doesn't look much, but that inside pass gives just reward to Quinlan. Wonderful stuff.
There's a little movement from Atkin, who actually lets go of the ball as though he's about to kick it, and then steps off his right and gives it to that man. Just have a little look. Shapes to kick. Quinlan's there, checks his run, gets back behind Atkin, and goes in for the second try. Wow, fabulous start from Hull KR.
Wonderful start from them, and even more concern for Leeds as we watched all those replays. Anthony Mullally was led from the field into the dressing rooms and appears to have a problem with the right arm. No doubt Angela Powers will be chasing the news on his condition because they have this long trip to Australia to come tomorrow to take on the Melbourne Storm in the World Club Challenge. Of more concern to them is that they might be 12-0 down. He's missed it. Well, he kicks one off the touchline, he misses one from just to the left of the posts. 10-0.
Well, Adam Quinlan is the try scorer, but it's Chris Atkin who deserves the credit. You know, there aren't many Super League sides who drop down into the lower divisions to try and find a talent. No joke that Tim Sheens, the Hull KR coach, with his experience and wisdom, saw something. They've offered the potential chance here for Chris Atkins to become a Super League star, and he's done that with some brilliant touches in this opening quarter.
Nice moment that for Adam Quinlan, the try scorer. He got 5 tries in 13 last year, his first 13 matches at Hull Kingston Rovers. Each and every one of them came on home soil. The first time that he has scored a try away from home. And what a belter of a try it was. 10-0 they lead, Rovers. Won away against Leeds in 2010, 2013, 2016 on their last Super League visit to Headingley. Nice kick over the top by Tommy Lee as well into space. This will stand, and it's a tempter for Ryan Hall. A great chase led by Blair. Also there quickly, Heffernan.
Eddie, a good kick backed up by a great chase, but Hull KR really targeting the ruck, targeting the play of the ball, getting through the contact area and getting those nice, quick, fast play of the balls that they want.
Stevie Ward is on the field, as you can see. Surgery on his shoulder in the close season. He missed last week. It also denied him an inclusion in the World Cup team for England during last autumn. And he is back in the fray, 13 on his back. Myler, meanwhile, with a kick high down the middle into the arms of try scorer Adam Quinlan. Ex-St Helens, you may remember, in 2015. Adam Quinlan. Huddersfield leading against Warrington 12-4. Here is Carney.
Ooh, it should be lethal, that right handoff, isn't it?
There should be a warning with that handoff.
And that's a big man as well, Brett Delaney. He picks him up and launches him into the ground.
Surrender!
Look at this.
Look at this.
Hold.
Straight into the mush, Eddie.
Go. Knock on.
Oh, a little knock on spotted by Robert Hicks here.
I've told him 3 times to stand up and play the ball. And he just rolls
It's
the ball.
Heffernan who looks like he's taking a knock.
Scrum down. I've told him 3 times. Scrum down.
Just in the inside of his mouth.
He's not brought the ball
I think
back
Jimmy Kainos come up with a decent shot on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he was almost on his knees. There's the end of the tackle, but as he goes into contact, I think Jimmy Kainos' shoulder hits him in the mouth. He's all over the place.
Where's the knock on?
Well, I think it was because he didn't play the ball correctly.
With his foot. He's hit him with the head. So if you looked at that again, it would be a penalty.
Well, it's certainly contact with the head in the tackle, isn't it? And
Robert Hicks, it doesn't matter if you hit them in the head, it's a penalty.
Well, Robert Hicks said he told him 3 times to play the ball, get up to his feet and play the ball properly.
He has, and he's been at him quite a bit. You know, I've heard him on a couple of occasions, but rolling it between your legs is actually a penalty. And I think they're probably lucky to get away with only a scrum at that point.
And I think on the looks of that, was it Brad Singleton coming in pretty strongly as well? Penalty could have gone either way. Anyway, Ward picks himself up, plays the ball. Here now is Callum Watkins, the lead skipper.
First time in a long time Leeds have been down this area, this end of the pitch. They'll want to get to the end of the kick, get to the end of the 6, put a kick in and put some pressure on Hull KR.
Jones Buchanan plays the ball to Parcell. Here goes Singleton again. That's a good tackle low down by Chris Clarkson. Myler drops the pass off to Jones Buchanan. Not the best from him. Walker manages to pick it up. Maguire trying to get to him, claims he was impeded by Sutcliffe, who's now at dummy half. There's Ablett, gets the ball out wide, and Kindhorse loses it, but was it knocked out of his hands? And is it Leeds head and feed? Yes, it is.
Well, they've had 2 massive elements of luck in my eyes here, there, with those 2 decisions. The penalty that's going their way here. Then, are they close enough to play at this ball? Or has he already committed to the tackle? Surely he's not used his foot to stop that ball, Stuart.
Well, that was the call from Touch Judge, that he's played at the ball, and there's certainly evidence there that he's moved his foot towards the ball.
That's fair enough. The foot came up off the ground and went towards the ball, so he loses on benefit of the doubt. Walker for Leeds. First real opportunity in nearly 26 minutes for the Rhinos, this. Parcell. Delaney. Parcell directing operations, pointing where it's going, and it goes exactly where he said, to Myler. Here's Sutcliffe. Ablett thought about the little offload. There's a Rovers jersey in his way. Myler once again, short ball to Stevie Ward. There's a grab by James Greenwood.
Hold. Go.
Parcell. Singleton. Solid run from Brad Singleton. Underneath the sticks now as they approach the last tackle here, Leeds. Parcell. Myler, back it comes, and it was a little bit low for Walker. They'll bring it back for the first offence, which was the knock-on. It wasn't the best pass. Frustration for Brian McDermott.
A lot of communication from Hull KR on the line. No one jumping the line. They're working as a team, they're communicating. Good defensive sides can do that.
There's no communication between Watkins and Walker, though, I guess, there, Terry, because had Jack Walker caught the ball, Callum Watkins was already in front of him, possibly even obstructing players, so they really are in trouble at the moment, Leeds here. It'd be amazing if they could turn this around. I suppose champion teams do, don't they? They've terrible start to the game.
Well, the energy battle is being won by Hull KR because they've made the most of the possession. They haven't had to do as much defensive work, and it was the defensive effort of Hull KR that forced that pass that ended up being a low one for Walker.
I wonder whether Rovers have treated this as one of their biggest occasions of the season, playing at a stadium like Ellen Road.
Definitely. And when you have a little smattering of ex-players there's 5 players as the Rhinos get the ball back.
They do, but they'll bring it back for the first offence because that was the free play.
And when you have a smattering of ex-players in any team, there's always a little bit of an edge, always a little bit more motivation.
Back here, guys.
Here's the drop ball and mistake made by Ben Kavanagh. Good solid shot.
Mark, see you, please.
Yeah, there's this, and there's the Magic Weekend. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to Rovers during the course of the season. Wembley and Old Trafford still very much in the sights of all 12 clubs, but this is a big occasion for them. I wonder if it's bigger mentally, Phil, than for Leeds. I don't know.
There's a danger, I think, though. I understand the point you're making. You need to find a reason to get your players up for certain matches. More than all, but there is a danger if you do that. Certainly in a 23-game competition, you've got to do it repeatedly, haven't you? Get up to the level and try and perform consistently. You know, the scales are certainly turning here, aren't they? With the last few minutes, we've been watching the game down at the right end of the field.
This is Parcell, will scamper away from dummy half, gives it to his skipper Callum Watkins, but the Rovers defence stands absolutely firm and resolute, and Rovers get a penalty.
Well, Callum Watkins, while he's trying to play the ball, ends up grabbing hold of James Greenwood's leg. And Robert Hicks, he doesn't like it, he blows the whistle, and the pressure is relieved. Hull KR survive.
Please, Tom. Hang on, mate.
Well, he's got hold of his leg and he's given the opportunity of for the referee to penalise him. You know, just as a tackler can't interfere with the man playing the ball, the man playing the ball can't interfere with the markers.
Yeah, that's good, please.
Might have noticed there is another ex-Leeds man on the field now, Sean Lunt, wearing number 9.
Get square. Hold now, hold. Go.
So that smattering of former players we're talking about.
Move, get square.
And that's bound to filter through the camp, isn't it? There he is, Lunt, getting to his feet, playing the ball to Chris Atkin. It's bound to filter through, and there's the man as well, the great Jamie Peacock in the management side of things these days.
A lot of low-risk plays for Hull KR when they're bringing the ball away from their own half. See Lee Jewett coming up with a strong carry. He was good last week.
Just let's get him.
Him and Rob Mulhern
Let's just let him get out.
made more tackles than any of the teammates.
I think Delaney's in
yeah,
the walls.
Delaney's taking a knock. Carl Ablett and Delaney, we mentioned them earlier on in the match. I thought they were outstanding against Warrington, but it gets a head clash here. It's Lee Jewett, Brett Delaney. You know, if you're going to clash heads with anybody, Lee Jewett is not the man.
Well, he's coming off as well, Brett Delaney here for a head test.
Well, he almost has to, doesn't he? I mean, that's the criteria these days.
Is the man on?
He didn't look particularly well. He looked a bit
Chris,
groggy.
wait for me, please.
Problems are mounting for Leeds here.
Chris.
And Atkin looking to build on that as he finds Sean Lunt. Lunt then gives it to Maguire. And there's Quinlan.
One, move, Jimmy.
He's linking up well, isn't he? Quinlan giving himself some space.
Clarkson, Maguire, Mulhern. All ex-Leeds. Lunt, ex-Leeds. Revelling in this situation they find themselves in. 10-0 ahead. Quinlan. Kinehorst to him quickly.
Hold.
Maurice Blair, 20 metres away from the Leeds line. Clarkson, Maguire. Back it comes again. Lunt taking them on down the middle.
Don't keep off the ball.
And Atkin, another little kick, delicate kick through. Picked up by Walker. Walker gets tackled by Thomas Minns. And Briscoe trying to work the ball forward.
A lot of attacking options for the pivots wearing in a Hull KR jersey. They're doing all the hard work to get into that field position. They're all picking the lines, they're staying hard on the lines. And then this is now where they need to work hard for the full game, Eddie. They've done it for the opening 30 minutes. They've got to make sure that they keep on doing it for the remaining 50.
Well, it's a totally different Hull Kingston Rovers side we're watching tonight than faced Wakefield in the opening match last weekend. And Leeds get a penalty.
On the fifth tackle as well. And they would have restricted those meters, but now all of a sudden there's going to be a kick here for Myler to the touch.
2 in the set.
To gain a further valuable 20 metres.
Hold it. Go.
There's Clarkson. His third season with Hull KR. There he is, number 17. He's a workaholic, there's no question of that. Parcell. Myler. Ward. Gives it to Sutcliffe.
Thomas, move. Hold. Go.
Tackled by Chris Atkin. Ward again. Good ball. Cuthbertson over the line, under the sticks. Leeds hit back. It was a deft little pass, and Adam Cuthbertson. Leeds Rhinos is his day job. He is also the coach of the Leeds ladies team. Passing on the information, and he certainly passed on the information there because he charged onto that pass and was unstoppable from that distance. And he got the penalty in the first place.
That's it, Chris Clarkson was the man who gave the penalty away on Adam Cuthbertson, who's got a very high work rate. And all of a sudden, when you go in at the line, you're looking for the man carrying the ball to drag a defender out, get him interested in the ball carrier. And this is what Stevie Ward can do. He's a fabulous player, young Stevie Ward.
And that reminds me of one of your tries, Barry, from the front row of the Leeds Rhinos, from 50 or 60 metres out.
Well, as we see, Richie Myler just slot another 2 points over. Adam Cuthbertson is our try scorer, let me tell you. Last year, his figures speak for themselves, but Stevie Ward laid that on a play. He skipped across 2 defenders, attracted the attention of Rob Mulhern, who only had eyes for Stevie Ward. And Cuthbertson sailed through that gap.
Well, has the alarm clock just gone off for the Rhinos?
Well, I guess the concentration fatigue set in here, hasn't it, after half an hour? The penalty they conceded was a costly one, wasn't it? On the last tackle, it invited Leeds into position, and the try that they have just scored would be one that would worry, I'm sure, Tim Steens and his coaching staff there. For Leeds to score without anybody touching a player so easily, that is maybe an issue for them, but they've got about 5 minutes or so here now to rectify that and try and gain control. Leeds have had a get out of jail card there. They've been terrible for the opening half an hour, but they only trail by 4.
OK, let's go down to the sideline for the first time tonight. Angela Powers with injury news.
Thanks, Eddie. Well, Heffernan has been into the changing rooms to be tested off concussion test, and he's come out. The bad news is he won't be coming back out for Rovers this afternoon. For Leeds, they've got 2 people in the treatment rooms. That's Brett Delaney, he's having a concussion test, and Bralali is still in there. It looked like he was holding his arm, so we're not quite sure what the level of injury is there for him, but we'll keep an eye out. And just a quick note on Quinlan when he did that little baby rocking thing when he scored his try. It seems his brother's wife has given birth to a baby boy, so it's Quinlan's very first nephew.
Well, here's
so they don't throw the baby to him.
This is Cuthbertson, this is Singleton rather. And Adam Quinlan. Well, when he meets up with the nephew first time round, let's hope his hands are a little bit safer than that. This is Ablett. Leeds turning the screw. 10-0 down, 10-6 at the moment. Cuthbertson passes out wide to Kinehorst. Kinehorst goes round one, scores a level. Jimmy Kinehorst on his return to the side. He missed the playoffs and the grand final, or the playoff semi-final and the grand final last year, but he got a try in his last appearance against Huddersfield. Here he is with his first try of 2018 that has dragged the champions back level at 10-all against Hull Kingston Rovers with less than 5 to go in this first half.
Well, it all came about from the mistake by Adam Quinlan. He's had a good half an hour or so, but unfortunately hands possession over to the Rhinos. And watch what they do when they get this ball. The big front rower who scored the previous try, Adam Cuthbertson, goes from the open side to the blind side, lofts a pass into the centre, into the centre's path. And look at those dancing feet, good try.
What about the balance from Kinehorst there? Look at that, he just sits blurred back. He rocks back on his feet. Steps from his left to his right, back to his left. And Adam Quinlan just apologises to his teammates for that mistake. Good feet from that man though.
He got a try in a 24-20 win at Hull Kingston Rovers in July 2016. And he's got the try here that has pulled the scores level at 10 apiece. Now can Richie Myler add the extras here and give Leeds what for half an hour looked a really unlikely advantage. 3-year deal for Myler from the Catalan Dragons. Did well on his debut last week against Warrington. We'll just pause for a moment because the ball slips off that kicking tee. Although he's kicking the goals here tonight, Myler, he with 14 tries was the Catalan Dragons' top try scorer last year as they just squeaked their way back into Super League via the £1 million game. 10-all, 4 minutes to half-time.
Well, when we watch a lot of tries, we talk about the strength, the speed, the power of players. Very often we neglect the fact the evasion is an important part of rugby league. And that was a wonderful example of it there, wasn't it? How he shook his body inside and out and then quickly managed to turn Maurice Blur and get on the outside of him. We're not really seeing that too many times from Ginny Kinehorst, but a nice aspect of his play. It's important there now to get Leeds level before half-time.
Eddie, I want to see how Hull KR handle this. They came out and for half an hour, oh, there's a mistake from Briscoe on the back line. Well, they're going to get possession. The point I was making was we've seen them on the front foot for half an hour. The scoreboard is level now. So look at the tee.
They've all been great shots, haven't they? Almost like Leeds United here. He's shooting to try and hit that ball over the back line, Eddie. You talked about it from the start. He's kept it low, he's hit it hard. And sooner or later he's going to get one to come off him. That's it.
Well, some of those kickoffs, you know, sometimes the unorthodox ones are the ones that catch you out. I know it's bobbling and skimming on the floor, but predominantly people are set on that back line for that high hanging kick.
Well, that will become, I think that will become the orthodox kickoff sooner or later, hitting it either at the sideline or the baseline.
It's a fairly high tee as well, but it's a wet old night in West Yorkshire. That might have something to do with it also. Lee Jewett goes down, first tackle.
Hold, go.
Lunt from dummy half. Rob Mulhern has seen plenty of it. All the former Leeds contingent in Rovers lineup tonight have been really, really busy. None more so than this fellow, Danny Maguire.
Jamie, get square, Carl. Hold, go.
Nice ball back on the inside.
They like attacking around the ruck area, turning that ball back inside, looking for a lazy defender. Here we go again.
Quinlan steps through a couple of challenges. Good job that the big man, Brad Singleton, was there. They've reached tackle number 5. They're about 5 metres away from the line. They want the repeat set at least here. Maguire with the kick. Oh, they're going to get the repeat set. Maurice Blair absolutely thundered into Ryan Hall.
Good hit from Blair. He's looked strong when he's carried the ball. And with this tackle as well, you've got to be disciplined, stay on side, even though you know what's coming off. When the man catches the ball, don't give him any time to look to offload it. You've got to hit him. He does exactly that. Look at this. Nice contact on Hall.
Well, I asked the question, you know, what's the reaction, what's the response from Hull KR? They're going to get right back into the grind.
I think they're very disappointed. That was actually not bad from Clarkson because he got his body behind it but knocked it backwards.
Stand.
Certainly got away with that. Go. Maguire gives it to Mulhern again. Leeds having to defend as we approach 38th minute. There it is, ball knocked backwards. No problem with that. Play on. Ben Kavanagh. 15 times a Scottish international, fresh from the World Cup. Mulhern on the drive into the 10-metre line. Lunt scheming, looking right, looking left, going left to Atkin. It's a nice run here from James Greenwood. Justin Carney, and he knows where the line is. Backed himself. Leeds keep him up, but they turn over the ball right on the Leeds line.
Strong set from Hull KR, nice effective, hard direct runs from the forwards, gets them into this position, trapping Leeds in the corner.
Go.
And there's going to be some decent carries here to get away and get yourself out of trouble as Tom Briscoe just juggles with that ball.
Hold. Go.
That's the first one.
Release that, Tom.
That's the second one.
Oh, go. Keep it clean and on the goal.
There's Brad Dwyer. This is Kinehorst.
3, move, Robbie. Hold.
Tim Sheens will be pleased with a 10-all scoreline, but will be at the same time, I think, disappointed.
He'll be disappointed with the last 10 minutes, the tries that he conceded.
He won't be disappointed with his team's attitude.
After the disappointed with the scoreline.
After the game, Tim Sheens last week said, we lost, but we weren't beaten. He's talking about his team's character. They've invited Leeds back into this game, but Leeds are a quality side. They're going to have to defend, they're going to have to make the most of their attack, but if they've got a good attitude, Tim Sheens is confident they'll give anybody a good game.
Make sure they bind him first, please.
Sheens and Webster alongside him, James Webster.
Kick from the scrum here. Is that what they're thinking of?
Well, 40 seconds, you might as well.
He's been an innovator in his time as a coach more than half of his life, actually, hasn't he? He's been coaching side.
He loves a scrum play, Tim Sheens.
They've got a trick play out of them in the last 40 seconds.
Atkin. Maguire. Mins now.
1. Move, Jamie. Get square. Hold, Matt. Hold. Hold.
Might just get through this set.
Well, if they get to the centre and Danny Maguire knock over at 1 point.
Back up.
Well, you never know, do you?
Hold. Go.
Lunt. Into centre field to Lee Jewett. It's Mulhern. Mulhern then gives it to Jewett. Jewett knocks on. And I think we'll turn round all square at 10 apiece, although Leeds are rushing to the scrum.
Time off.
And they're going to get another little dab at things here with 6 seconds remaining.
Well, Mulhern trying to get it to his prop forward partner. Yeah, you're right, Eddie. They know that they've got one more play with 6 seconds to go.
So maybe we'll see a kick from the scrum by Leeds Rhinos, because there's no one at home in terms of defence for Rovers at fullback.
Well, Justin Carney's just dropping into a pocket now. Eddie covering that long kick.
Well, they've got speed out wide in Briscoe and Hall. There's Carney, he's funneled back. Now he's going into centre field.
Back on the 10.
Referee not happy with the way the scrum was.
I was getting input, so we're going to
go
again.
Late shift from Callum Watkins then. Matt, he went short side, trying to pull the defenders across to give the open side more space.
Head out.
Right, the ball is out. What have they got in the locker here, Leeds? Well, Hulkingston Rovers are alert, and there's the half-time siren. Well, 30 spectacular minutes for Hulkingston Rovers as Brian McDermott makes his way, hands in his pockets, into the dressing rooms. Then Cuthbertson and Kinehorst came up with tries for Leeds that levelled things up after Shaw and Quinlan had given Rovers a 10-0 advantage. Ellen Road home to Leeds for the first time in 8 years. Not too much home comforts for half an hour, but it's 10-all at half-time.
shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
Don't miss extra savings in Oak Furnitureland's big weekend sale, where you can furnish every room with 100% solid hardwood. Save £170 on this original rustic double bed, now £399. And save over £130 on the modern Alto TV cabinet, now just £299. Hurry to a store near you. Must end Sunday.
Oh, come on!
Good scrum down.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. Darling, hold my hand. Oh, won't you hold my hand? 'Cause I don't wanna walk alone. I'm ready for this. There's no denying. I'm ready for this. You stop me falling. I'm ready for this. I need you.
Book your ABTA and ATO protected holiday now and get £100 off per person. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust.
Hey, Lucy.
My dad.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Choose and buy your perfect car with complete control. Visit carwow.com and see what you could save.
If you leave me now, you take away the very heart of me.
At Wren, our heart and soul goes into your kitchen. And because we design, make, deliver and install, you pay the right price.
The Pamunki have given us a perfect reason to bring a war down upon us. We've got to grind the team down.
Well, we are back at Ellen Road, but we've got some EFL action to bring you tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday on Sky Sports Football. Millwall Cardiff, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Then on Saturday at midday, it's Sheffield United against Leeds. First game in charge for Paul Heckingbottom, new manager of Leeds. And on Sunday, it's Villa Birmingham, 11:30 a.m. Sky Sports Football. That will be a red-hot atmosphere. Okay, 4 Premier League matches for you. One on Saturday, Man City, Leicester, 5:15 p.m. Sky Sports Premier League. Doubleheader on Sunday, Newcastle, Man United, 1:30 p.m. start for that again on Sky Sports Premier League. Same channel, 4:15, just a little later. It's Liverpool's trip to take on Southampton. And then Monday Night Football comes from Stamford Bridge. The visitors, West Brom. That all starts 7 p.m. again, Sky Sports Premier League. Right. It's not football, it is Super League, but we are at Ellen Road in Leeds. And following a first 15 minutes riddled with errors, the two teams settled down and gave quite a contest. And it's half-time. Hull Kingston Rovers 10 points apiece with the champions, the Leeds Rhinos. It is half-time over the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield, good record against Warrington at home in recent matches, won their last 4 Super League games against the Wolves. It was Warrington who went in front through Tom Lynham, but then Huddersfield hit back. Dale Ferguson and Darnell McIntosh with tries. Danny Brough with a late penalty to extend it to 14 points to 4 before Bryson Goodwin hit back with a penalty on the half-time hooter. It's the Wolves trailing by 8 points against Huddersfield. All right, we are going to focus our attention now on the game here at Ellen Road. 10 points apiece at half-time. As I said, John, Conditions played their part in those first 15 minutes, raining heavily, plenty of errors, but when they did settle into the match, it was Hull Kingston Rovers who came out on top.
And Hull Kingston Rovers, I think, will be very disappointed that they've gone in level at half-time, because I thought that the conditions that you mentioned, they handled extremely well. They came with a game plan. It's something we're going to get into in a little while, and it was a real simplification of what they'd done from last week. They'd suffered a real bashing confidence in their first game on return to Super League, and I think this is a real response, but it's what came before the tries I think that was particularly significant.
When Leeds did hit back, there was a notable turn in possession and territory that went in their favour, probably centred around that Jimmy Kinehorse incident with Andrew Heffernan. No action taken on the field. Leeds Rhinos go back and score these 2 tries.
They do, and this is good feat as well by Jimmy Kinehorse. And I always like to praise the attacking side rather than provide a critique of the defence necessarily. But there were 2 glaring errors by the Hull KR defence, who, having been very good for half an hour, switched off, I think, towards the back end of that first half.
In the build-up to this match, we pitched it out as the Leeds Rhinos team that were very good against Warrington in round 1, and Hull Kingston Rovers who showed that they had so much to do. Well, we thought they had so much to do. Tim Sheens did say during the week, though, we are not that bad, and Leeds are not really as good. Well, he said we saw vulnerabilities in the Leeds performance against Warrington. They eventually exposed those.
They did.
You're going to look at the Shaw try, but it's the build-up to that impressed you more.
I'm going to give you some context, yes, Brian, because I don't think this is necessarily game plan. I think this was more about getting some confidence back after what was a really poor performance last week. And it was something that they'd done consistently throughout the half, sending players back on the inside, not necessarily to challenge inside defenders, but more really to provide risk-free environment for themselves, gain a bit of confidence, high completion rates, keep the error rates down, and really build their way into a game, something that I don't think they did particularly well last week. Again, balls back on the inside. Even the play that precedes the try here, as a mix-up at the play the ball. And then look at Atkin, he's waving for a man back on the inside. It's something that they did again and again and again. They only looked like playing once they got in the opposition 20. So then you come to the switch off, and it only takes once in a half of football, a game of football, and it's Liam Sutcliffe on this occasion. He must have been sick of seeing players going back on the inside.
So he thinks nothing's coming his way.
Just for a momentary lapse of concentration, and it happens that Hull KR have got the quality players now to take advantage of that. It's Clarkson who hits probably the only outline, skipping across the defender that he's done all game. Maurice Blair on, Heffernan into the clear. What I really like about this, though, is the finish. At this point, you're not really sure how he's going to get over the line. It looks like he's boxed in. Jack Walker has, however, had to accelerate again. There was a little movement by Ryan Shaw just back towards the outside, and it really makes Jack Walker re-accelerate. It's a really subtle piece of play, allows Ryan Shaw to duck back on that right foot. That right foot becomes effective then, because Jack Walker's had to accelerate. They went out to a 10-0 lead. They've surrendered that 10-0 lead, but I think on balance, Tim Sheens will be very happy with what he's done. His first priority after last week's disappointment will be to make sure we are in this game. And they were in charge of this game up until 10 minutes ago.
And they would have been desperate for a performance. He has got that in the first 40 minutes. Has anybody stood out for you? There will be a man of match, of course, awarded at the end of the match. The voting will be through the Our League app. 4 rugby league legends will be watching the game. They will come up with a short list of 4, and at the end of the game we will announce the man of the match. We have got some injury news, of course, for you as well. The Leeds Rhinos, as we know, get on a plane tomorrow to fly to Melbourne to play the Melbourne Storm in the World Club Challenge. Brett Delaney has failed a head test in this match, but we believe through the medical staff of the Leeds Rhinos that he will be fit to travel down under tomorrow. We'll get you all the information from the Hull Kingston Rovers dressing room at half-time, just after the second half kicks off. Tim Sheens, though, I'm sure, delighted with how his side have performed that first 40 minutes, perhaps referring to the turning the ball back in, John Wells has shown us so brilliantly just now. Second half coming up shortly.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. That's why we've made our new multi-car policy our cheapest way to get cover for your household when you switch to LV. So, just imagine if you insured 2, 3 or more cars with us, how much you could save. And to get an exclusive multi-car discount from the Which Insurance Provider of the Year, go direct to lv.com.
Little man, when you stand by my side, then I know I don't have to hide from anyone.
Our house has helped us achieve so much.
It's where we raised our family. All the laughter and the tears.
And now our house has done the most amazing thing of all. Thanks to equity release, it's given us the money to enjoy our retirement, help the grandkids, and still live in the house we love.
So now we can do all the things we dreamed of.
To discover how your house can help you in retirement, call Key Retirement for your free equity release guide on 0800 0448 448 or try our calculator at keyretirement.co.uk.
Are you on autopilot when it comes to sensitive teeth? Using a toothpaste that just numbs the pain? Try Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Its unique technology treats the cause of sensitivity, repairing teeth for instant and long-lasting pain relief. Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Stop numbing, start repairing.
Trying to do too many things at the same time just doesn't work very well. That's why Trivago focuses on comparing hotels and works very hard to find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Colouring your walls? Do it for less with B&Q. Get 5 litres of Dulux Standard Coloured Emulsion for just £20, down from £26. Plus, get a dial brush set for £6.92 and a 3-sleeve roller kit for £7. You can do it when you B&Q it.
I didn't plan for this to happen. Kim and Christina 1 week, Denise and Chris the next. Just sort of happened.
You've got to grind the team down.
Yes, this time next week, the Leeds Rhinos will be preparing for the big match against the Melbourne Storm. It's the World Club Challenge next Friday, 16th of February. You can find it live only on Sky Sports Arena at 8:30 in the morning. And then Hull and Wigan, of course, are over in Australia as well. They play each other in the Super League this weekend. Next weekend, they have 2 exhibition games. St George Illawarra against Hull is 6:30 on Saturday morning on Sky Sports Arena, and the main event, followed quickly by South Sydney and Wigan at 8:40 in the same places. But before all that, the Leeds Rhinos have got to overcome the challenge that is presented to them tonight by Hull Kingston Rovers. 10-0 they trailed. They've got themselves back into the match, courtesy of Cuthbertson and Kinehorst's try, levelling off the Shaw and Quinlan efforts. And there's a big 40 minutes to come here as they try and build confidence for the Melbourne Storm Challenge next week. Here we go then, second half is underway. And that was off the legs of Danny Maguire. He'll be revelling in this Ellen Road atmosphere is Danny Maguire, not only because it's Leeds Rhinos who is facing second match into his Hull KR career, but also he is a huge Leeds United football fan.
Surrender! Go, 3.
The one that I'm sure he looked forward to once the fixtures were announced way back last November. Sean Lunt waits, dummy half. Here's Chris Clarkson again for Hull KR. They've got first use of the ball in this second half. Lunt into centre field. And Atkin high and off the left boot. Briscoe had to turn round and he lost that in the lights maybe. And the referee wipes the tackle count clean. So 6 to go here for Hull KR. They're in possession with Quinlan. Came off Briscoe's foot.
Well, Chris Atkin kicks it from the second man out, which pulls up the Leeds Rhinos defenders, putting an awful lot of pressure on the Briscoe, who just couldn't deal with that ball.
Rovers attacking the end behind which their supporters are massed, and this is Atkin. Prolific point scorer for Swinton in the lower league. Ben Kavanagh now.
Move, Jamie. Goal line. Hold. Go.
Lunt again, 5 metres shy of the line. Maguire stabs the kick in. It ricocheted off a Leeds leg and not played at, said the referee. This is the last one coming up. Problems here for Danny Maguire on the ground.
No, mate.
Well, he kicks the ball. Carl Ablett has a go at that.
I think the leg did come up for that, I do.
I think that should have been back to 1, that, Eddie.
So do about 1,000 Hull Kingston Rovers fans as well.
Drop goal.
Drop goal, it is a drop goal.
He's got it over. He's had a good start to his Hull KR season this year. Had his hands on the ball and getting a growing influence. Left foot just slots it straight over. Good stuff.
It's better to come away with some points, isn't it, rather than nothing.
Took us all by surprise. Leeds as well. Chris Atkin with the one-pointer gives Hull KR the advantage again early in the second half.
Well, I'm sure Leeds know that if they are to meet a perfect storm next week in Melbourne, they need to be far better than what they've shown so far. He will have addressed that, tried to keep his message simple and stay calm, because he would have been disappointed, I think, the coach at half-time with how his team had played. But began this half here, an error from Briscoe. He couldn't take in the ball. And the question is whether they can match their opponents physically. Every few seconds in a game of rugby league, there's a little collision that takes place at the play of the ball. And generally one side wins that, either in defence or attack. One team is stronger, more determined, more enthusiastic than the other, with or without the ball. And I think too often in that first half, Leeds would have to concede that Hull KR won those collisions.
Let's get the half-time news, shall we? Angela Powers has had her ear to the doors.
I haven't. I've had a word with Tim Sheens, and it was a few words as well. He said he just wants his team to keep doing what they're doing, and literally that's the message. For Leeds, though, they want to really keep challenging with the ball in hand, so they've got to keep hold of the ball more. The conditions aren't helping that, but they showed when they did have the ball, they were able to challenge in their own half, and they were able to score tries. So to keep that momentum that they got at the end of the first half into the second. News on Mullally, it's not good. As he came off, it looked like his finger was dislocated. Now, they don't know whether he'll come back on it. It looks very unlikely, but that's his injury. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Ange.
And Eddie, we might see substitutions play a part. To my knowledge, I don't think Mulhern and Jewett have been off in that first half, so Mossy Massoy, Jordan Wall, they'll come on and give effort.
High kick here, meanwhile, from Richie Myler. Knocked backwards, no, knocked on, says the referee, by Ryan Hall, as Kinehorst went in search of his second try.
He's getting himself there, Ryan Hall.
Okay, Chris.
Gets the ball back, unfortunately. They don't make anything of it, the Rhinos. Okay, you look at the opening 30 minutes, Eddie. I know the lad said at half-time it was maybe a sloppy opening 15 minutes, but they forced 5 goal-line dropouts. That shows how dominant they were in field position. They were getting close to Rhinos' line. They were challenging them on the second, on the third kick, knowing that it's all about building pressure.
Go. On the calls, guys. Wait for that foot. Keep it quick.
Maurice Blair, he released that ball in an impossible situation. Leeds have got it back. And that's the 0, so 6 to go from here. As Kinehorst plays the ball to Brad Dwyer, he then feeds Sutcliffe. Important tackle low down by Maguire, stop the momentum, ball comes free, knock on. Sutcliffe pleads innocence, demands a penalty, but nothing's forthcoming.
I think they're lucky to get away with this Hull KR. There's hand in there, just knocks the ball out as he's trying to play the ball.
There was hand in there, there was legs in there.
Move and they start to move.
You can see
No, they do.
the tackle from Shaw. You can see there's men all around him. Clarkson lending his weight to that tackle. Not enough distance, I believe, between Sutcliffe and Shaw.
Hold on that 10. Head in, Jack, yeah, when you're going. Let's get in. Oh, sorry, Danny.
Knock on, so Rovers breathe a sigh of relief.
Ball.
Last away win against Featherstone in the qualifiers on the 3rd of September for Hull KR. 30 points to 18. Once they scooted through the qualifiers last year, no need to be involved in the £1 million game in 2017.
Good work from Cuthbertson, recognising that Justin Carney was going to scoot. Whenever he goes in at dummy half, he's not going in to pass it. Markers need to split and be honest. And I think the opening half or the opening 45 minutes, the prop forwards have done a tremendous job for Hull KR. They're just taking that battle to the Rhinos constantly, Eddie.
Greenwood plays the ball to Sean Lunt. There is Atkin. He gives it space and finds Maguire. And Maguire humps the ball high. Now then, here's a tester. And Ryan Hall's come up, I'm afraid, with 0. And Maguire dabs the ball to the in-goal area. He knows it's a free play, and it will be brought back, I think, to the original offence.
That's a brilliant decision from Danny Maguire. He knows he's got the free play, just slots it into the in-goal. And they were only half an inch off getting that ball down. Ryan Hall, he can't deal with this high bomb. Maguire just trotting away. Nice slick hands from Clarkson. Intelligent kick into the right area. They look sharp tonight, Hull KR.
Again, Eddie, when you pass the ball twice from the ruck, you hit the second man, you bring up those Leeds Rhinos defenders, which then isolate a man, and that man that was isolated was Ryan Hall. Danny Maguire knows all the strengths and weaknesses about the team that he's playing against.
It's a scrum down, isn't it? Another chance for Hull KR to attack. It was an accidental offside, wasn't it, where the ball went forward off Ryan Hall, hit one of his teammates who was lying on the floor, and Hull KR gets 6 more players here now to try and extend the lead.
Now on, you're okay now. Let's get your heads in. Heads in. Mind. Headlets.
Robert Hicks calls time back on, and Maguire feeds the scrum. Here's Maurice Blair again.
Move, Carl. Time it better. Hold. Go.
Ryan Shaw is the dummy half. He's decided to take the responsibility on himself. He had Clarkson waiting for the pass that never came. Lunt waits and has a little dash himself, halted by Kinehorst. Clarkson now. Clarkson spins the ball to Maguire. He just drops the pass off to Ben Kavanagh. Lunt again. Maguire dabbing it into the in-goal area. Picked up by Briscoe. Can he get out of jail? No. No, he can't. Goal line dropout. They do well. Hull KR.
I said they got 5 in the first half. The fans are going mad trying to really help the team on. Then there's good chase, there's good honesty from the players.
And there looks a good understanding as well. When Danny Maguire holds that ball out, his teammates react. They know that a kick is imminent. They chase hard and get the rewards from it.
And just needing a little bit of assistance, Brad Dwyer. Just to say, we're watching 2 of the most successful coaches in rugby league going head-to-head here tonight. Brian McDermott, 4 Super League titles in 7 seasons. And Tim Sheens was a coach in first-grade football in Australia 10 years before Brian's playing career began. There he is, Super League's elder statesman in the coaching ranks. Clarkson, bent back double on tackle number 2. Lunt to Maguire. Maguire got it away to Kavanagh again. Here is Maguire, always looking, always probing. Was that a knock-on by Quinlan? Yes, it was.
And coming back to the... trying to get to the same defenders who were involved in the earlier play, trying to take some energy out of them. But what it also does as well is those big forwards who are doing those repeat tackles, they start panicking, they start pulling other defenders in around them, so they're not all on their own doing all the work, and then there is gaps that's coming out wide.
I think we'd all accept that, well, Barry might not, Terry might not, I don't know, but I think that Hull KR have been the better side. We've almost played for 50 minutes. They only lead by 1 point. The thing about the Leeds Rhinos, I said it last week, In 9 of the last 10 games, close games that they played, when they ended by 6 points or less, they won the game. They had a knacking fact of all 9. You have to go back to the start of last season when they lost a close game. They're hanging on in here, but they continue to make mistakes. Sooner or later, it's going to be almost impossible for them. I mean, half the time they've had the ball, they've come up with an error. But they are the masters of sneaking it in the tight games.
Well, it's another error from Tom Briscoe. Just drops this cold.
And Eddie, there's a difference in the teams. Well, Hull KR are making their mistakes close to Leeds' line, when Leeds are making their mistakes close to their own line. And what that does is a defence. When your Leeds Rhinos defending your own line, there's a bit more space. You can't be so condensed around the play of the ball. If you do make a mistake close to the opposition's line, you can really jam in and look to get off the line and hurt the opposition.
I bet the DVD of this game will be winging its way to Melbourne with the Leeds team tomorrow. And, well, even though it's Melbourne's first game of 2018, first competitive game of 2018, on the evidence of the 49 minutes we've seen so far, the Storm will be rubbing their hands.
There'll be a different mindset for the Rhinos when they play Melbourne.
I hope there will be. Thomas Minns carting the ball forward. It's Quinlan again. Fires the pass to Atkin. Atkin to Maguire, looping pass from him. This is Clarkson. Pinehorse pulls him down. Blair waits. Fires the ball to Maguire. He turns the attack down the other side. Goes round in a circle though and is grounded by Ablett. There's Maurice Blair to the in-goal area. Oh, Ryan Hall just got to it.
Another goal line dropout. They've been good in that aspect of the game, Hull KR. Perfect kick, respected with a good chase, and Ryan Hall has no option other than to get the ball over the back line. Maurice Blair, who we know has played in the halves in his career, where's the number 11 these days? Really testing the Rhinos.
Ryan Shaw was inches away from a touchdown then. Goal line dropout by Myler. Will get it to the halfway line. Big Mossy Masoi will cart it forward for Hull KR. Look at that, look at those legs going.
To bring a fresh man, and a man the size of Mossy Masoi as well, could be the vital component to this match for the Robins.
Oh, he just slipped then, did Greenwood. Yeah, Mossy Masoi arrived back end of last year, 5 appearances, helped clinch promotion to the Super League. Ben Kavanagh was forced back by the Rhinos. This is Sean Lunt. Sean Lunt slips one net, and Leeds managed to hold him up over their own goal line. And so the play will be taken back 10 metres.
Well, is it word of that, Jamie Jones Buchanan, the old war horse, knew exactly what he was going to do then. Sean Lunt asking an awful lot of questions there, Hull KR.
Is it Jack Walker? He gets his foot entangled when the wrestle and the tussle is taking place. He gets his foot in an awkward place. Jack Walker, you watch his ankle just go from underneath him there. He's trying to drag his foot away and he just falls to the floor.
Might be on his arm.
He's either injured or he's
okay?
playing an old man's trick and trying to give his side an extra minute or so's rest.
Line, please. What, mate? Okay, tackle 4, go.
Right, so the tackle count now restarts. Here's Carney from dummy half, backing himself, taking a couple to stop him. Lunt gets the ball away to Greenwood, and Greenwood's on his way to the sideline, is he? No, he manages to get to ground quickly enough. Penalty. Leeds pushing and shoving.
He's close by, not coming out. Come out on the
They're causing
calls.
an awful lot of problems. They like going that short side from dummy half. Got some strong carries again. Been quite content just to take the time, set themselves, look at the lines, look at who's defending in front of them. He's had a big game, Chris Atkin, the man who's tapping the ball, along with that man, Sean Lum.
Well, Masoi sat on the bench for 50 minutes. If he's got a big run in him, it's got to be about here.
Lunt was looking for him as well.
Goal line. Stay square.
took the responsibility himself. Maguire stretches out. Here is Chris Clarkson again, and Clarkson, he gets to the line, and Leeds again hold him up just short. Sean Lunt fires the pass. This is Maguire. Maguire then to Quinlan. Quinlan shrugs away from one, and it's Adam Cuthbertson who collars him with help from Dwyer. Maguire again, flat pass, Atkin, nice kick. Swept up by Walker. Did well again. Here's a question for you. Leeds playing the week before the World Club Challenge. Widnes will face them the week after, 9 days after the World Club Challenge. Who has the better chance against the reigning champions?
I think they both have an excellent chance. You can't help but invest in a game like the World Club Challenge, both before and after. And Hull KR, who I agree with Phil, the first half belonged to Hull KR. 5 minutes just before half-time, the Rhinos scored a couple of tries, and it looks very similar in the second half, but you can't afford to think about the game after at any point in any sport. And Leeds Rhinos, whether they're guilty of that, I don't know, I guess we'll see. But this evening they're being well and truly tested by a very, very competitive Hull KR side.
Don't miss that World Club Challenge Super League against the NRL next Friday morning at 8:30. They carry the Super League pennant with them down under, the reigning Betfred Super League champions. Suddenly they're camped inside Rovers territory. Myler, short ball, Singleton off his knees, I think, and a little bit of a fumble anyway, so the referee will say that is a knock-on.
Well, he did everything right, didn't he? The big cumbering forward, Brad Singleton.
That's a hard pass to catch.
Yeah, it comes
the
back
velocity on the ball.
Doesn't he?
He's running hard. He's running against the grain. It hits his chest.
No
stomach,
knees at all.
Chest, stomach. Sometimes they talk about putting it in the bread basket. Well, it ricocheted off, and another mistake from the Rhinos.
I doubt Leeds will play another game this season where they make more handling errors and mistakes than they have here tonight. So you have to make the assumption from that the minds have been distracted by what's about to come for them. They leave from this ground here, they go directly to Manchester Airport immediately after the match, have a few hours sleep in a hotel there, get up very early in the morning, and I think they're on the plane when most of us will be up having our breakfast. And I guess that, and the preparation for that, will have an impact on it. Is a head injury assessment here for Greenwood. He's leaving the field.
Yes, he is. We might be on the plane at the time you're having your breakfast, Phil, but I'll be in the land of Nod, I think.
He's going off for a head test.
Didn't seem that much in it, did there?
No.
Originally.
Strong carry from Ward, but yeah, it's in clash heads. Something happens.
Keep tempo, guys. Keep coming out on the calls. Respond to what I say. Hang on, guys.
Well, Rob Mulhern's about to come back on. I thought he was really impressive in his first stint to start the game.
I agree, Phil.
Against his former club at the time. He's developed and improved. Seems to be physically and tactically more astute. He was a capable contributor to their first half performance.
He's fit, strong and athletic, Rob Mulhern. He's getting used to the pace of first-team rugby. He's got a bit of skill in him as well. Perfect for the 13. Oh, there you go. There's your scrum play.
The scrum. Justin Carney at the back.
Parted like the Red Sea, and he came through it, didn't he?
Lunt gets the ball away. This is Kavanagh.
Lost the ball there.
He loses the ball. There's errors riddled through this match tonight.
And I'm not sure we can put it down to the rain for the entire 54 minutes.
No, I think it's stopped now, Baz.
Yeah.
Well, the pitch is still going to be greasy though, lads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dwyer, a little run at this Rovers defence. Parcell waits behind him. Gives the ball then to Myler. Myler finds Sutcliffe. And Rovers with the strength in numbers to deny Liam Sutcliffe. Parcell showed it to Jones Buchanan, gave it to Singleton this time. He hangs on.
Looks like there's a problem with Rob Mulhern as well, who's just come on the field.
Jordan Wall and Mossy Massoy, the men to deny the runner. Jones Buchanan, Myler, here is Walker. All hands to the pumps defensively here for Rovers. They've reached the last tackle of Leeds. Myler will slide the kick in. Might have a bit too much weight on it. It does.
What's the ball, please? Justin Carney.
Well, he just couldn't
Carney wants to get on with this.
Just couldn't get the right weight on this. Here he goes, Justin Carney. Oh, good shot from Stevie Ward. He is a player, Stevie Ward.
Just coming back from that shoulder injury, an operation. No sympathy in the game. He's just got his shoulder right into the ribs of Carney. You do have to front up against a player like that, because you know, unless you front up, he'll hurt you.
Well, that'll test your shoulder repair out, won't it? It's Justin Carney.
Hold. Go.
Lunt as Rovers get over the halfway line again after 3 tackles. Good progress made, courtesy of that initial run by Justin Carney. Lunt gets the ball away once again. Here's Mossy Massoy, who was fed by Atkin.
Last. Move, Jamie. Hold. Go.
Lunt again. Last tackle this for Rovers. Maguire dabs the ball up and over the top. Who wants it? Was Quinlan taken out? Questions to be answered by the referee, and he comes up with Leeds possession.
Well, the referee says that Carl Ablett was there waiting for the ball. He didn't think that was a penalty. He was right in front of him.
Hold. Go.
Well, he's in a position to play for the ball, isn't he? He's entitled to be there.
Didn't look anything in that, did there?
Yeah.
So Leeds now trying to work the ball up from their end of the field. There's a player down, receiving treatment in back play. 40-20 attempt here. Cut out by Quinlan, though.
Well taken from Quinlan.
It's Stevie Ward who's down for Leeds.
He's picked up a cut again.
Hold. Go.
Did he pick up a bad cut in the grand final? I'm sure he did.
2. Move, Brad. Go.
Shaw takes it forward. Maguire. Here comes Carney once more.
A lot of low risk sets here. There you go.
Go.
He just clipped the boot, did he?
Play on. Play on.
Oh, he said play on. He's looking to get away with that, Jordan Wong.
4. Move. No, mate.
Didn't lose possession of it. The ball was on the ground, but the hands were still on it. This is Atkin. Solid hit by Jones Buchanan. And Thomas Minns. Maguire again. He's the engineer-in-chief for Rovers. The kick, though, well taken this time by Ryan Hall, and Ryan Hall trying to return this ball at the other end of the field. Doing so through Mulhern, away from Ryan Shaw. What a run this is! What a run from Ryan Hall!
That's outstanding work from Ryan Hall. He collects the ball a metre off his own line and helps his side. Wow, all the way up the field.
And look at that run from Jack Walker as well. From one end of the field to the other in the space of 2 tackles. Parcell. Here's Stevie Ward, head bandaged once again. Pulled down by Mulhern, helped out by Mossy Massoy. Leeds fans find their voice. Ablett will drive it in. Approaching the hour mark here at Ellen Road as Myler tries to jink his way through to the line. No way through, though. Massoy and Clarkson saw to that. Ablett again. Fires the ball to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe brings it wide to Kinehorst. That's the turnover, not a bad place to turn it over.
What a set and all set up by that man. Look at this. His composure. He will back himself in any situation. Keeps his feet so strong, gets rid of some Hull KR defenders. Again, he doesn't panic. He just keeps swapping that arm, swapping that ball into different arms, gets up 60 metres, Eddie, from under pressure, and then all of a sudden the pressure's now on Hull KR because of his efforts.
Great run from Ryan Hall. 189 tries in Super League for Leeds now. Only Danny Maguire has scored more. And, well, remember the score that he got at that stadium, Huddersfield Stadium, for Leeds when they won the League Leaders' Shield a couple of years ago. Huddersfield lead by 20 points to 6 against Warrington.
And that run looked a little bit reminiscent of the try scored against Warrington last week. He didn't have the pace on this occasion. And another player, Richie Myler, picked up a little nick just above the eyebrow. But Ryan Hall and the Leeds Rhinos, they'll take the break, they'll take the rest. So will Hull KR. Just compose themselves. They've got a bit of hard work to get through.
Hull KR know, though, they've got to be good for 80 minutes. Leeds just need a good 80 seconds, and that's the difference in the quality between these two sides. It's got to be the concentration that can't break here now for the visitors. Rovers have been impressive for almost an hour. They were clearly the underdogs going into this contest. They have that 1 point lead at present, but this now becomes the toughest and the most important quarter of any game of rugby league.
And it's time for all of you good folks watching at home to decide on who your man of the match is this season. The man of the match being chosen by you, the fans, via the Our League app. The panel of former rugby league greats have chosen 4 candidates. The voting is now open, and we will announce the man of the match as usual come the end of the game. None of the greats up here, of course, are on the panel, but who would you say is your man of the match, Tez?
There's a couple. If you're looking at Hull KR, I like what Chris Atkins done. I think he's been absolutely tremendous. Danny Maguire's led the side, and Sean Lunt as well has really controlled the way. But I'd probably go with the man who's got the ball now, Chris Atkins.
He's done well. Barry, any thoughts?
I think Maurice Blair has toiled all evening. Chris Clarkson had some nice touches, but I think that's a very telling sign that when we think about best players involved in this match, they're all Hull KR players.
They are. Phil, do you have a Leeds candidate?
Well, I reckon the fullback, Jack Walker, I think with the final 20 minutes to go, I just watched too many Leeds games for the last decade to know that they get themselves out of this situation. There might be a player in there who comes up with it, and on the evidence of a week and a half's football, Jack Walker could be the man. Steve Ward's another classy player. Here's Sutcliffe, now he finds Kinehorst.
He goes Kinehorst on the outside. All that, of course, was for fun. The voting is in your hands, you people watching at home. This is Myler. Buried by 2. Parcell. Sutcliffe. Deft little kick. Well picked up by Quinlan, then lost by Quinlan. Parcell hacks it forward. He was pulled back by Maurice Blair. It's a penalty at least. Surely, Stuart, there would be no suggestion of penalty tries or anything like that, but it's a penalty at least, isn't it?
I'm going to check for the merits of a penalty try.
Oh, he's going to check it. He's going to check for the merits of a penalty try.
Mate.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting decision.
This is going to be tackle 1.
He had a bit to do to get the ball over the line,
no
so
try.
we'll see what the
video
referee has to say.
Can you check for the merits of a penalty try? If it's no try, I've got a penalty for the pullback.
So it's a penalty at least to Leeds. This will be very interesting, and it depends how James Child views it now, the video referee.
That's it. Well, it's certainly going to be, at worst, it'll be a penalty to Leeds for the pullback. They're all onside. So Carl Ablett challenges for the ball, and we play on from there. So the ball is passed backwards. There's the interference. No, there's a player there. Far too much to do.
Can I not suggest that it's stripped by the Leeds player and then goes forward in that action? Do you not see it that way, Barry?
I don't know whether Matt Parcell was onside when the kick originally goes up.
It's no try because there was a man in cover.
Yeah, there was another a Hull KR defender was clearly in the way.
See, I think Matt Parcell, who passes the ball, is offside.
Hang on. He has given the penalty to Hull Kingston Rovers because there was a Leeds man ahead of the kick.
Right, Matt Parcell.
So there you go.
Arrest my case.
Well done.
Matt Parcell was within the 10, so not even a penalty to Leeds. It's possession to Hull Kingston Rovers.
He's
Sean
lively,
Lunt.
isn't he? He's lively, Eddie. Every time he gets the ball, he's double pumping it. He's going at the line. He's looking for a show and go.
Mulhern will take it forward again. 18 minutes to go, just 1 point in this second half, separating the two sides. As Atkin shows it and gives it, directs the players to go where he wants them to go. Justin Carney. Here he comes. Leeds now defending their line. They thought they would be up the other end, either kicking a penalty goal or attacking the line themselves. Maguire, good hands, finds Clarkson. Clarkson gives it to Blair. Maurice Blair using the body as a battering ram.
5 metres away, plays the ball. Maguire under pressure gets the kick in. It's a good kick too. It's clutched out of the air by Carney. Carney gives it. Oh! Was that Sean Lunt with a bullet pass out the back door?
I think it was Chris Atkin. He looks to get the ball out wide. It's on his Super League debut, Chris Atkin. And look at this, when the ball goes up, great height from Carney.
Yeah, it's Atkin.
Oh, look at that.
What a fascinating finale, though, to a fixture that puts the team, the newly promoted side, against the champions from last season. Great here, isn't it, that we've got into the final 20 minutes of this match. A 1-point lead for the underdogs, and you almost sense their excitement here now. They're too anxious when they want to score. That's the reason why that pass was thrown. They know they need 7 points at least to get comfortable. Otherwise, this will be an agonising, fast final few minutes here now for the visitors.
Sutcliffe is pulled to ground just inside the Rovers' half. Kinehorst to Dwyer. Singleton keeps it going, back to Kinehorst. Kinehorst running flat, lost a bit of momentum there. They're back inside their own half of the field. Ryan McDermott knows this is a battle royal for his men. As Dwyer reverses the direction of the kick, looks for touch on this near side and finds it too. That's a very good kick by Dwyer. It buys some land.
That's a wonderful kick. He pops out from dummy half, assesses the situation, decides he's going back over to that left pocket, that left corner. Slows the game down, slows the clock.
Good kick from Brad Dwyer. Signed close season from the Warrington Wolves. Wakefield Salford tomorrow night, 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena. Chris Chester here tonight. Will be in the coaching booth himself tomorrow, and Saturday morning the Super League match that's being played down under in Australia, in Wollongong. Wigan take on Hull. It's an 8:30 start on Sky Sports Arena. And on Saturday afternoon, around about tea time, Catalan Dragons take on the Saints at 5 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena. Great weekend of Rugby League on Sky Sports. Your place for Rugby League, of course, now. With the news announced today, don't forget that we have the NRL returning in 2018 for the first time in a long, long time. That'll include the Aussie Grand Final, it'll include the State of Origins as well. All right here on your Rugby League channel.
Some fantastic stuff, Eddie. That was a fantastic kick from Danny Maguire. 8 games in 8 days. We've got a festival of Rugby League. Can't wait to see how those teams go on over in Oz, but we've got some Super League business.
We have indeed, and 200 Rugby League games, no less, on Sky Sports this year. 200.
Brilliant.
I think he's
and you're doing every one of them, by the way, you two.
I think he's disappointed though, Danny Maguire. He didn't get the distance on that kick.
I think he wanted to keep it in play as well
and get it nearer to the try line. Well, there'll be some nerves. If you're a Hull KR player, there's going to be some nerves. They know that they're up against the champion side that know how to win games in the closing stages.
Are we getting to drop goal territory when Leeds get up the other end?
They'll go for the try. They'll go for the try.
Well, no, they will, but if they're on the last and...
If it's 1 minute to go, they'll go for 1 point. They'll back themselves to score a try as they get a penalty here.
I might be wrong, but while it's 10-11, I don't think Leeds will be thinking about a drop goal. And I agree with what Phil's saying. They have that residue. They have that in their mind, Leeds. All we've got to do is stay in this game, hang in this game, and give us an opportunity.
But wouldn't they sooner hang in it level pegging rather than 1 point?
I don't believe they will, Eddie.
Okay. No. Jamie Jones-Buchanan gets to his feet, plays the ball to Parcell. Good ball then to Watkins, hit that at pace. He got the ball away to Matt Parcell again. They're just about 10 metres away from Rovers' line. 3 gone, 3 to come. Dwyer. Myler. Sutcliffe to Ablett. Ablett then to Kinehorst! You're right, Barry. Not interested in the one. Kinehorst gets the 4 and gets his second try of the match on his comeback. Left out last week. Playing tonight because Joel Moon is injured. And Jimmy Kinehorst making the most of this opportunity that has presented itself. Leeds hit the front for the first time.
He's a confident player, Jimmy Kinehorst, but this is the penalty that leads to the position for the Rhinos to attack. And when Jimmy Kinehorst just hugs his width He knows that the ball's going to come to him, and then look at this line. It's a strong line that beats Danny Maguire, his ex-teammate. You can just see he's looking at him, he knows what he's going to do. It's a nice tight line. Danny Maguire's caught out, and Jimmy Kainos for his second try.
It is a lovely line, but it's a courageous line as well. It's soft hands from Ablett, but Jimmy Kainos knows when he goes into that line, when he goes into that small gap, he might collect a clout, but he gets a try instead.
Okay, here's a chance then for Richie Myler. Missed with his last. And that puts a little daylight between the champions and Hull KR. 16-11, 12 to go.
If there was such a thing as a captain's challenge, I think Hull KR might use it here, because potentially the number 17 there, Chris Clarkson, you could say he is possibly obstructed by Adam Cuthbertson, who was in front of him. Look, he's coming towards the referee had already awarded the try, and I admire the fact that Clarkson accepted the official's decision. But I think when Leeds look back at that again, they might consider that was a lucky 50-50 call that went their way.
Well, he was certainly in the defensive line, wasn't he? And he prevented Clarkson moving to his right, so he might have a case.
16-11. It's a horrible bounce. That's a horrible bounce. Did well to get to that first, did Dwyer.
Well, there's a good distance to go in this game, but it's an interesting case of Jimmy Kainos. So many times he's the odd man out. Made his way through the system really as a student rugby league player with Leeds Met, as we see Ryan Hall gobbling up some meters.
That's a great ball too from Parcell. He finds Cuthbertson. He releases or tries to release Myler.
Well, Jimmy Kainos might give Brian McDermott a headache. Joe Moon, you would assume, would come back into this side. More good work from Ablett over on this left side.
Leeds finishing the match strongly. Myler will go for the touchline on this near side just to buy some time, buy some territory.
And that's all it is. Take control. Just over 10 minutes to go. Richie Myler knows exactly what he's got to do, where the game is. And it's all about putting that bit more pressure, bit more doubt in the likes of Chris Clarkson's mind. And you can just see that he's interfered. Stuart, were you happy with that?
Oh, well, looking at it there, I think there's a clear case of obstruction. He stopped him moving across, which has affected the defence outside him. So again, probably looking to get away with that, the Rhinos.
One, move, hold.
Well, the Leeds Rhinos, they have, of course, come from Old Trafford in the grand final on the back of a great run of victories. They've won each of the last 5. If they win tonight, it'll be 6 as they head down under. And they haven't lost a home game since Castleford won at Headingley last June. Here's a kick and chase, and what a chase, and who is it? It's Carney.
I've already blown.
And the referee has seen a knock on, but which way, I wonder?
There's a long way to go in this game. I don't think nobody on either side, in either team, is sure that this is the result.
There's Richie Myler and Thomas Minns coming together then.
Justin.
And Justin Carney gets involved. Big destructive, explosive winger.
Knock on by Justin Carney.
Knock on by Justin Carney is the decision. Head and feed to Leeds.
What's that, mate?
See the kick over on the third plate, trying to get to Justin Carney. He just can't keep hold of that ball. Knowing that there's pressure from the man wearing the number 2 jersey, Tom Briscoe.
Well, I think the angle doesn't show it very well. It looks like it goes over his head, but certainly from side on, the ball has travelled forward as his move past the ball.
Ball, please.
Forward, forward, forward.
And it's still going forward.
Watkins then for Leeds. 8.5 minutes to the full-time siren. Ryan Hall tries to spin away from Tommy Lee's challenge. Parcell into centre field. Cuthbertson. Parcell waits. Gives it then to Singleton. Got a slap in the chops from Kavanagh for his pains. Put to ground by Blair as well. Inside the 20 they go with Sutcliffe. Back then to Cuthbertson. Oof. Cuthbertson found Stevie Ward. I'll tell you what, Atkin was hunting the interception, and now there are 3 hunting the player. One of them, Lee Jewett. Myler. Oh, he was taken out after the kick. Be interesting what the decision is here. Doesn't matter because Kinehurst has got his hat-trick. Well, a man of the match has emerged in the last 20 minutes of this game. Jimmy Kinehurst, but I wonder whether he was on the list from the 4 greats of the game. Jimmy Kinehurst, first game of the season, and a try hat-trick that has probably now won the match for the champions and preserved their unbeaten start.
Well, he's definitely the game breaker, isn't he, Jimmy Kinehurst? And as Barry said before, he's a player that's sometimes been overlooked for those big games, but when he's had his opportunity, he never lets anybody down.
There's some terrific work done by Ryan Hall. Centre and winger, normally it's the other way around. Centre will catch it and hand it on to the winger. But there's an understanding between Kinehurst and Hall. He does that often, Ryan Hall. Still needs catching that ball, but
it's a sensational take from
he's done brilliantly there.
It's the strength as well, though, isn't it, from Ryan Hall to ride that tackle, give the pass, not a panic pass, a nice soft pass. And Brian McDermott knows he's been tested tonight, but they'll be going down under with the 2 points.
And he knows that Jimmy Kinehurst has given him a little bit of a problem because he's burst back onto the scene tonight with his hat-trick.
He'd have to get a game. He'd have to get a game.
Where would you play him, Barry, if Moon is fit?
Well, at the very least on the bench he plays centre and winger. Centre and second row.
He might have played himself into a World Club challenge. We'll see as Myler misses with the conversion attempt. 20 points to 11. Second hat-trick of Jimmy Kinehurst's career, the first against Castleford in 2013, and here it is.
He's shown an array of skills, hasn't he? A line runner for the second try, evasion for the first, and then his support and game awareness to put himself in the right position and the strength to score his third. You know, half of the tries that Leeds have scored in their last 3 fixtures have had a kick in it somewhere. They're really good at reacting well, aren't they? When the ball goes up in the air or kicked along the floor, they react faster than their opponents. Well, there you go, kiss of death. They can't take that kick in.
It was another wicked kick-off by Ryan Shaw, wasn't it?
Smart kick, low, direct at the target, always difficult to deal with. Ultimately, Kinehurst can't deal with it. But again, another tick in the box for the game there. Jimmy Kinehurst come through the Leeds Met, now called Leeds Beckett University team, along with Alex Walmsley, another graduate of that team. And Paul Fletcher, been in student rugby league for many, many years, developed many a good player as well.
Move! Hold! Go!
Mossy Masoi, as opposed to where Barry qualified from. I'm not going to say it.
Kindergarten.
I went to Leeds Met, Eddie. Thank you very much.
Oof, that was high on Justin Carney. The referee spotted it.
He's a tough man to bring to ground. Justin Carney again, coming back against the grain. A high shot from Jamie Jones Buchanan. More of a reaction from him.
The ball's gone free again. And it's a penalty to OKR.
He's been strong, Lee Jewett, hasn't he? The man who's had the ball stripped from him. I agree with you, Barry. Lee Jewett, Rob Mulhern played big minutes in this game.
And don't look tired at all. Well, Frank Mulhern, his younger brother, spent some time as a young footballer here at Leeds United.
Rovers trying to end as they began the match with a flourish. Oh, Maguire couldn't take that in, but Mossy Masoi can, and there's 6 to go. I tell you what, if they score a try here under the sticks, they convert it, we'll be in for a bit of a finish. And it's nothing less than they deserve, to be fair. This is Jewett.
And it's 100 times better than last week. Wakefield humbled them at home. talked before the game that if they didn't win, they'd at least have to put in a good performance, and my word, they've done that.
Tommy Lee finds Maguire, short ball from him. It was a good tackle by Kinehorst. And he gets the ball back, does Maurice Blair, back to zero. Has he heard the call? I think he has, 6 to go.
He was looking at passing it, and Ryan Hall just made a play for it with his left hand.
Maguire again. Flat pass, Masoi charging it towards that line once again. Lee, Mulhern, the ex-Leeds man trying to score in the last moments of this match against his former club to set us up for a rip-roaring finish. Thank you very much. He's offside.
Well,
Cuthbertson is quick, but he's not that quick.
Well, he was looking at the ref straight away, or he was looking for his teammates. Look at this, he's in space. There's no way he's going to go 90 metres.
He'd have been looking for a motorbike to jump onto as well.
That's the decision. That's 3 penalties.
Could that be classed as a professional foul, Stuart?
Well, it's very rare you see something like that on a defensive line with all that distance to go ahead, classed as a professional foul. So he certainly knew what he was doing. He was surprised to get the ball.
He wasn't surprised to hear the referee's whistle. Final score at Huddersfield, 20 points to 6. The Giants have beaten the Warrington Wolves. As Maguire puts the kick in, and Ryan Shaw has got the try.
He's got it.
That's a try.
Second try for Ryan Shaw. If James Child gives this the green light, they have a try on the field.
On a lead runner. Grounding, touching goal line, please.
So they're looking for obstruction, and then the touchdown, and I think there's nothing wrong with the grounding.
No, the grounding looked fine from up here, but we'll get a closer view. So they're obviously concerned about something going on in back.
Carl Ablett? Well, if you let the Leeds try go where Cuthbertson was entangled, then you let that one go.
No, I think it's all right.
That's a try for me.
We'll see it again from this angle as the ball moves across. Well, he's got in the outside shoulder. Does he obstruct the defensive line? Well,
is that one there? Is that collision, isn't it, with Ablett?
That's it. And the problem is you get a defender in the defensive line, and he's blocking the defence moving across to the left.
I don't see a problem with this, Stuart.
The problem is they missed the last one with Cuthbertson, so the rule is there, and that is a no try. But yin and yang, you have to give it.
And this should be no try.
It's going to be no try. We haven't looked for the grounding.
Yin and yang.
No, it's Carl Ablett.
Well, it's yang and yang, isn't it? They get no payback. Hulkiar, who deserve to finish this game strongly. There's no doubt there's an obstruction, but I felt Cuthbertson. There'd have been no arguments from anybody in a Leeds shirt if Cuthbertson was penalised on the last try.
It's this one there.
Yeah, and there's contact, but
they didn't go to the video referee for the last try.
Are the defenders outside affected? I don't think they are, Stuart. He was already going to kick that ball, so I don't think it's really hurt the defenders outside him. They've not changed the lines. He's gone through with his play. And if you look here when Ablett gets hit, I don't think he would have stopped that play.
Well, maybe he wouldn't, but the video referee protocols are quite clear. If there is a defender in the defensive line that affects the movement of the defence across, then it should be a try should be disallowed.
Full stop, new paragraph.
I can hear everybody at home go saying the same thing, but you missed the last one.
But
anyway,
the
let's get on
see
with
it.
Yeah, the last one didn't go to a video referee. That one did, and was rightly, by the letter of the law, chalked off.
I agree.
Away we go. No point arguing now. Although Rovers will, I'm sure. Last 2 minutes.
Sorry, Shaw.
Shame that from a neutral point of view, because we would have had an even better finish than we're getting right now.
Well, again, Eddie, if this is to be the second loss, they've had an awful lot of effort yet again in this game.
Oh!
Good effort.
What a hit by Kavanagh on Walker. Last tackle here for Leeds. Myler. Oh! Masoi went for Myler then.
Well, the big frame of Mossy Masoi just shut Myler down, and you have to admit that the Rhinos have been second best for large chunks of this game, but they've had enough character to get the result. There's good signs for Hulkiar though. vastly improved on last week.
Just some detail behind that Huddersfield-Warrington scoreline. Lynham gave Warrington the lead. Dale Ferguson, Darnell McIntosh, Jordan Turner with tries, Danny Brough with a penalty, and 3 successful conversions. Huddersfield winning by 20 points to 6.
I think that's a good result for Huddersfield Giants. So much expected of Warrington again this year.
And played 2, lost 2, as is the case for Hull Kingston Rovers. Played 2, lost 2 for the champions. Played 2, won 2. Here goes Maurice Blair. He's had a stormer. The kick's not the best, though. Walker did well. And here goes Walker again. He's a brave, brave 18-year-old, isn't he? Man of the match last week against Warrington.
He won't back down to anybody. That's what I like about him. He'll take the ball, he'll run straight to the heart of the defence, where all the big fellas are defending.
Last 10 seconds of the match. Leeds will end up with the ball in their hand. Hat-trick hero Jimmy Kinehorst to his feet, plays the ball to Parcell. Here is Ryan Hall. This will be the last tackle of the match. There we go. Leeds head off to Australia for the World Club Challenge, unbeaten at the start of the Super League season. Brian McDermott, though, is a realist. He knows that Tim Sheen's men have pushed him and his players all the way tonight. A vast improvement, as we've been saying, on the opening week, the match against Wakefield at Craven Park. Shaw's try, Quinlan's try, Shaw with the goal, 10-0 after 20 minutes for Rovers. Cuthbertson and Kinehorst try, Myler's goal, 10 apiece at half-time. Atkins with the drop goal. 2 minutes into the second half, 11-10. That's all that Rovers had to show for their efforts in the second half. Kinehorst completed his hat-trick, Myler added another goal, and the Leeds Rhinos run out winners by 20 points to 11. As I say, they'll go off to Australia unbeaten. And let's hope that they bring that World Club Challenge trophy back home with them. Right, let's find out who is the man of the match. Chris Atkin is the man in the beaten Hull Kingston Rovers side, and he is talking to Angela Power.
There it is. It's a consolation prize, really, Chris, for a fantastic game. Drop goal. Nearly could have won it, but Leeds are champions for a reason.
Yeah, obviously, that's why they've been at the top for so long. You know, obviously, talk about Daniel leaving the side and other players retiring, but it's about the whole squad and what they do each week, and that's why, obviously, they went all the way last year.
What inspired this win? Oh, sorry, this game, this performance?
Obviously, there was a lot of disappointment around, the performance last week, especially in defence. The lads really regrouped together last week, and we know it's gone now. We had to learn from it, but it was about coming in and putting in a performance, and obviously we come up short at the end, but I think the lads should be proud of what they've done today.
And you'll take confidence from this and self-belief.
Yeah, definitely. That was just the hard work that we've done in pre-season today, and we're only round 2. We've got a lot of things that we can put right moving forward for the season.
As you check, Chris, you check to go to the charity of your choice. Who will it be?
I think me and Macmillan have done a lot of work with them in the past, and obviously one of the lads, Andrew Heffernan, he's an ambassador now, I think, for them, so that's where I'll go for.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Yes, thank you.
We have the Leeds coach Brian McDermott now to talk to. Brian, I was just saying to Chris, it's the sign of champions who don't panic and come up with the goods at the end of a game.
Yeah, I thought he had some class, that, actually. I mean, I think what we did with the ball and some of the stuff defensively, well, it was workmanlike. There's a bit to improve on, but sometimes you can show class with how much you can hold your nerve and how much you just stick with that process.
And that's kind of what it's about. But Kinehorst as well came in more or less last minute, scored you 2 tries and more or less won the game.
Yeah, I thought did he score 3 tries as well? I'm not sure.
I counted 2, I could be wrong.
I think at 2, and maybe we'll add 1 to him later on, but that had a big influence. But to be fair, he probably got on the end of, he scored 1 really classy try and got the end of some stuff. That performance was just about sheer grit and hard work, and you've got to be able to do that as well as the sexy stuff as well.
There was some question about whether having the game to play in Australia might have taken you off the ball. Would you accept that?
No, when we was 10-0 down, I was working out, right, well, if we lose this, what will I say about Australia? And I was ready to say, no, that wouldn't have been a distraction. It's actually been a great focus for us, to be good in training, to be good and as good as we can be on and off the field. It's everybody in the league would swap positions for us now. They'd all want to be get on an aeroplane tonight or tomorrow morning going to Australia to play Melbourne Storm in a World Cup challenge. I think it's a great prospect for us. It's not been a distraction at all.
We can't wait to watch it. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, it was, in the words of Leeds Rhinos coach Brian McDermott, a workmanlike performance with some touches of class as he greets Tim Sheens, two of the most successful coaches in World Rugby League. 20 points to 11. The Leeds Rhinos won out the end. 10-all at half-time, but ultimately Jimmy Kynor's hat-trick has pushed the champions to 2 from 2 to start the season. Hull Kingston Rovers will go on in their search for their first win, but the performance was certainly there. Well, Huddersfield have won their last 5 home matches now against Warrington. Warrington 0 from 2 to start the season. Huddersfield have bounced back from that disappointing opening to the season. What a result that is for Rick Stone's men. Elland Road Leeds, the champions, brought their home match here, and they have come away with an important 2 points before they get on the plane to go to Melbourne. Phil Clark, a lot for the Leeds Rhinos to take over to Australia, but you feel going away from the game here tonight, the Hull Kingston Rovers supporters, Tim Sheens, their coach, and the side may almost be the happier of the two despite the loss.
Yeah, they played really well, didn't they? They were great to watch, had some good endeavour, a lot of commitment, some skill and variety. Chris Atkins, Danny Maguire, those combinations were enterprising, weren't they, with a drop goal from him just to give him that 11-10 lead at that stage. But you never really felt that was going to be enough, was it?
What was it ultimately, Phil? That I know Jimmy Kynor's crossed the line. What turned it in Leeds' favour?
I think class. I think you've got to admire their patience. None of them seemed to panic, even when things were going wrong and the ball was dropping to the ground. Nobody dropped the head. Nobody seemed to fall out with one another. And ultimately, they've got some pretty talented players. It reminded me very much of round 2, 12 months ago, when Leeds went to play the newly promoted side. At that time, it was the Leeds Centurions, and got a narrow victory over them. They weren't at the best, but they were good enough to win. And I saw similarities with this again tonight. The newly promoted side came with so much enthusiasm, were a little unlucky, and I think ultimately that the 50-50 referees' decisions went slightly in their favour that helped them to win that narrowly.
They certainly have to get that video referee protocol sorted out, because as you said, it's difficult to explain to people the anomalies in the video referee's decision. Let's talk about Leeds Rhinos looking forward to the game in 8 days' time against Melbourne. What, if anything, will Melbourne have seen in that performance that will have them asking questions or have them thinking a little bit more?
I don't think Melbourne will measure them off one fixture, not here just tonight. I think they'll look at them as a complete package. They know some of the players are England stars and they've seen what they can do at an international level. They've met them themselves over the last decade in previous World Club challenges, so they know what they've got. I think the fact that they know Leeds will be far better than that. Adam Cuthbert's Sonati's very best poses a threat that maybe NRL sides don't have. He's a half back and a half forward, and not many other teams have something who can do that.
I think they're realistic at the Leeds Rhinos, and Brian McDermott will be in no doubt that they have got a huge task ahead of them. As Gary Hetherington said, it is the biggest challenge they could possibly face. They get on the plane tomorrow morning to head down under. We'll bring you that game. Of course, this weekend we've got a very special match for you from down under. Tomorrow we are at the Mobile Rocket Stadium to see Wakefield take on Salford, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. Please join us on Saturday morning. The first ever Super League game played outside Europe. It's Wigan Hull FC, 8:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports main event. And we've got a second match for you on Saturday. We're in St Helens good in round 1. Can they take that form to the Catalan Dragons, who will be hoping to bounce back from a very disappointing defeat and performance against Widnes in round 1, 5 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena for that one. Elland Road has witnessed its first ever Super League match. The Leeds Rhinos, the champions, they roll on 2 from 2, but Hull Kingston Rovers and Tim Sheens, plenty to admire in their performance in defeat. We'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.
Support from Shaw down the touchline. Ryan Shaw's gone over for the first try of the match. Atkin, lovely ball. Quinlan! Adam Quinlan for Hull Kingston Rovers. Ward again. Good ball. Cuthbertson leads it back. Kynos goes round 1. Scores a level. Sutcliffe to Ablett. Ablett then to Kinehorst! Jimmy Kinehorst, first game of the season and a try hat-trick.
Sky Sports. Feel it all. Sky Sports Mix. Feel it all.
For a little second effort, there's also